It was built to make you obedient. Why do people still work 40 hours a week? Even with more wealth, more automation, and more technology than any generation before us. They say it's about productivity, but that's a lie. Studies show the average worker is productive only 3 hours a day, but works 8. The rest, it's not work. It's containment. Because tired people don't fight. They don't think. They just recover enough to repeat the cycle. You wake up, clock in, scroll, sleep, and call it life. But what you call a job is a cage that rents your time. They built the perfect feedback loop, work to pay for the things that numb you from work. College, car, wedding, birthing kids. Every dream monetized. Every choice pre-priced. By 25, you've already sold decades you haven't lived yet. And when your body breaks down, they sell you caffeine, therapy to cope, and antidepressants. You burn out. They bill you for recovery. That's control. They don't steal your money. They steal your youth, your time, your fire. You think you're free because you can choose your job, but every path leads back to the same gate. Different uniform, same obedience. They learned that silence is easier to rule than rebellion. The system isn't broken. It's designed to break you. The trap's older than capitalism, turning life into labor and obedience into order. And the only way out is to stop following the routes they marked for you. The path isn't written. You find it for yourself. This is
more time.
This is shocking, but the 40-hour work week was never designed to make you productive. It was built to make you obedient. Why do people still work 40 hours a week? Even with more wealth, more automation, and more technology than any generation before us. They say it's about productivity, but that's a lie. Studies show the average worker is productive only 3 hours a day, but works 8. The rest, it's not work. It's containment. Because tired people don't fight. They don't think. They just recover enough to repeat the cycle. You wake up, clock in, scroll, sleep, and call it life. But what you call a job is a cage that rents your time. They built the perfect feedback loop, work to pay for the things that numb you from work. College, car, wedding, birthing kids. Every dream monetized. Every choice pre-priced. By 25, you've already sold decades you haven't lived yet. And when your body breaks down, they sell you caffeine, therapy to cope, and antidepressants. You burn out. They bill you for recovery. That's control. They don't steal your money. They steal your youth, your time, your fire. You think you're free because you can choose your job, but every path leads back to the same gate. Different uniform, same obedience. They learned that silence is easier to rule than rebellion. The system isn't broken. It's designed to break you. The trap's older than capitalism, turning life into labor and obedience into order. And the only way out is to stop following the routes they marked for you. The path isn't written. You find it for yourself. This is You know what's similar between dog training and 12 years of school? They're both systems designed to condition obedience, not intelligence.
How's that the same thing? Dogs learn tricks, students learn math.
Do they really? Think about it. The commands don't matter. A dog isn't trained to understand why it sits. It's trained to obey when told to. The point isn't sit or fetch. It's react instantly to your master's signal. That's the entire foundation. Repetition, reward, reflex.
So the tricks are just camouflage?
Exactly. Any command works. As long as it builds the same loop, signal, response, reward, repeat. You could replace sit with spin in circles. It wouldn't change the outcome because the goal isn't skill. It's submission.
All right, but what does that have to do with school?
School is obedience training disguised as education. 10 to 12 years of conditioning. Same architecture, different leash. Bell rings, you sit. Bell rings again, you move. You raise your hand for permission to speak. You even need permission to go to the bathroom, like asking your trainer for a walk. And lessons. Each day you sit through instructions you didn't choose, solving problems you'll never face, copying notes you'll never read again. Homework is not to make you capable. It's to make you obedient. To prove you'll complete tasks simply because someone said so. It's repetition dressed as progress. A silent agreement to trade curiosity for compliance.
So it's not about knowledge?
It's not about what you learn. It's about how you learn to obey, because what's being programmed isn't knowledge. It's reflex. Receive command, execute, seek approval.
So those 12 years are like repetition drills?
Exactly. Long enough to make obedience feel like safety. You're trained to fear mistakes, crave approval, and wait for instructions. That's behavioral imprinting. It's the same as with the dog. The trick changes, the leash remains. And once that reflex is solid, they release you to a 9 to 5 cage with new masters, new bells, new rewards. Work, consume, repeat. Do it for 40 years and call it a career.
Not gonna lie, that's dark.
You know what's...
Yep, dark like a bug. What up, though, Crystal? Hey, I watched that Putin shit. I watched the whole thing, and I was debating if I wanted to cover it now or do the Earl Nightingale shit. I was like, I might do both. So I said, fuck it. Let's do it.
They wanted the world to sympathize with these bastards and child killers. Back in the day, we found it hard to defend the truth in the information space and to defend the true picture of the events, since outside of the country we did not have a strong voice. I will emphasize that the sovereignty of Russia that we have been fighting for and continue to fight for and shall always fight for relies upon our ability to share with the people on the planet an objective picture and impartial information. When I used to be the director of the Federal Security Service of Russia, back then, even in the FSB, There have been attempts to cancel this style of work. We were told that we should work more delicately, that we should try to convince others, that we should use different means of work, rather than those that had been used during the Soviet era, and what had been called grab and never let go. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, I am very glad to greet you here in this wonderful hall of the Bolshoi Theater to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Russia Today channel. Today, I congratulate from my whole heart all those who worked and continue to work on the channel, and of course, Margarita Simonyan, your leader, the one and only editor-in-chief. Dear Margarita, we all know, and your team definitely knows, how hard it is for you now, and what a turbulent period you and your family are going through.
She actually bowed to this nigga.
But in your work, you have always expressed courage, boldness, and I am confident that you will cope with it now too. I promise I will. Your friends, your colleagues have always stood by your side and shall stand by your side. Over the last 20 years, there have been many events in the media sphere. It is a whole era, and Russia Today channel has gone from an idea to a global brand, known today all over the world. I thank your active, creative, tightly knit team for your high level of professionalism and for staying true to your profession and your duty, for being courageous and determined in the defense of truth in the global information sphere. Remember, back in the beginning of the 2000s, the leading Western mass media were abusing their monopoly, and I would say almost always they disguised anything they wanted as objective news. They were trying to dominate the hearts and minds of millions of people by imposing new rules, or rather, basically, ideas, and new civilizational space based on the wrong ideas. Up to this day, we are outraged by the fact that the terrorists who took hostages and organized deadly attacks and bombings in our cities, schools, hospitals, were called by the well-known Western channels as rebels. They wanted the world to sympathize with these bastards and child killers.
Woo!
Back in the day, we found it hard to defend the truth in the information space and to defend a true picture of the events, since outside of the country we did not have a strong voice. I will emphasize that the sovereignty of Russia that we have been fighting for and continue to fight for and shall always fight for relies upon our ability to share with the people on the planet an objective picture and impartial information. That is why RT had to appear, which is exactly what happened 20 years ago. The company was facing a challenging task to build a work on a new level of quality, content and technology, and I am sincerely glad that we and you have succeeded, and succeeded at a great level. Millions of citizens of different countries believed you. Moreover, it turned out that there is a great demand for news which are different from the well-known propaganda, which is today, if I'm honest with you, not really different from the well-known cliché and propaganda of the Soviet era. Back in the Soviet times, this is how others continue to work, and that is why I believe that true professionals, including those from the United States, from Europe, from all the continents, were willing to cooperate with you, and not just cooperate, but work with you. And it wasn't about the money. It was, first of all, due to the fact that you gave these people an opportunity to share their position, to share it with millions of people. This is exactly why the hosts of RT included the legendary founder of WikiLeaks, Mr. Julian Assange, the world television star, Mr. Larry King, the president of Ecuador, Mr. Rafael Correa, and many others. You were quick to gain popularity and influence, and as a result, your competition started to basically envy you. Or sometimes, I think they were even scared of you. And this is a telltale sign of the fact that you're one step ahead, and you are the ones who set the information agenda, doing the right and important thing. And when you started working in full strength, this is exactly when these competitors and the ruling elites, or the so-called ruling elites backing them, revealed their true face. And Margarita talked about this now. And they have been regularly saying how there have been attempts to pressure you, to discriminate against you on foreign platforms. For years, they have been teaching us how we should live, how mass media should work, how democracy should be understood and what democracy is. What is the true freedom of speech? They were trying to convince us of the importance of competition, the pluralism of opinions. But look what happened to those teachers when RT appeared and hundreds of millions of people started watching the TV channel, offering a new interpretation of the events. The reaction of these elites that I mentioned was primitive and straightforward: to ban, to cancel, to block. You know, when I used to be the director of the Federal Security Service of Russia, back then, even in the FSB, there have been attempts to cancel this style of work. We were told that we should work more delicately, that we should try to convince others, that we should use different means of work, rather than those that had been used during the Soviet era and what had been called grab and never let go. But unfortunately, this is what we are currently witnessing against you and your channel. It is very easy to accuse someone of propaganda and misinformation or interference in the internal affairs. Although you never impose anything, you basically offered an alternative, truthful point of view, and thereby you defended the viewers' and listeners' right for a choice. But the mere presence of such a choice was seen by our partners as a threat. And over the years of RT work, we have been trying to establish such partner relations with the audience, and you have succeeded in that. Any monopoly, sooner or later, comes to an end, regardless of how much is being paid for attempts to preserve such monopolies.
Viva la Mother Russia.
By those who continue to sponsor them. Today, in a strengthening multipolar world, intolerance to any sovereign independent thought is not just a vestige, it's a great obstacle hindering the development of trust and understanding between the peoples that we all need. This is an obstacle, but just like any other obstacles, we will manage to overcome it. There is no other way. For 2 decades, thanks to RT as well, we hear an entire spectrum of voices from all across the earth, the people of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Thanks to you, we can speak freely without seeking approval from the former colonial powers and authorities. It is important that RT channel provides its platform for journalists, scientists, experts from all over the world, and most importantly, people of different views, convictions, nationalities, regardless of bans, technical obstacles, continue watching RT, reading your social media. And even the representatives of the Western elites admit that the audience of Russia today is bigger than that of their own domestic TV channels.
That's right, Kristen.
Only over the last year, the overall number of views of the channel's projects on social media reached almost 24 billion views. The overall audience of RT TV channels on the cable television platforms is almost 1 billion viewers. And this figure leaves us convinced that you will continue your successful work, and this is understandable. In Europe, in the United States, and in other countries, the citizens are aspiring to preserve their national culture, the memory of generations. They're countering the social inequality, the destruction of their family, and the attacks on the rights of the children. And this coincides with the Russian position on these matters, and it is thanks to RT that the world learned that our country firmly defends traditional values. We are a stronghold in the modern life and the modern world, which is full of conflicts and differences and challenges. We never discriminated or banned anything. And in the spheres that I mentioned as well, we are merely trying to protect our point of view, our opinion of the modern world and its future. And I'm sure that this similarity of opinions will help the people of different continents to believe in themselves, their strengths and opportunities. And we all appreciate the RT contribution to our common fight to establish a fair, just and sustainable multipolar world order, to preserve civilizational diversity, to stand united by these positive ideas, and more people and countries stand by them. I would like to emphasize that you continue your hard and tense work for the future of our people and the future of millions of people on the planet aspiring to true, genuine freedom. Dear friends, journalists, camera crews, colleagues from other media projects of RT are always in the epicenter, on the bleeding edge of the events, always on the front line, literally and figuratively. The courage and your aspiration to truth are the main features of the channel workers and employees. We have seen this in Iraq and Syria and other hotspots of our planet, and even now in the zone of the special military operation. You continue these traditions, risking your lives. You share the stories of heroic deeds of the fighters and their commanders. There are many examples showing that the people working for RT are true to their job, to their country, and their beliefs. Even the foreigners working for us, the citizens of other states, which are numerous on the channel, defend their own views, and thereby they help their respective countries to promote such ideas for their domestic audiences. And they are acting in a truthful and open manner. Before coming here to the historical stage of the Bolshoi Theater, I had a meeting and a talk with your colleagues working in the hostility zones and filming
You already know, Crystal.
videos about and films about the heroes of the special military operation, and I would like to welcome them separately. Thank you. Here's what I would like to point out. Those who came from the zone of the special military operation, those who fought there, and those who work for the channel as journalists, they all looked as one family, because they all are courageous people, heroic people, who fight for their beliefs. This is the value of your work, dear friends. Dear friends, 20 years is an era of a great path for your channel and your wonderful team. The world is rapidly changing. Technology is transforming journalism. Social media sets new rhythms, and the audience increasingly watches news in a digital format, and you successfully cope with these challenges. You stay courageous, open, and creative. RT has what matters the most: experience, a professional team, and trust of the viewers. RT has a freedom-loving atmosphere and a lot of young people who bring the future, which is why you will have new victories ahead of you. There is no doubt. I wish you continue your development, finding new formats and new topics in a tense fight for the minds and the hearts of the people. And to succeed in this fight, you need to continue using your secret, strategic, highly precise intercontinental weapons. The truth.
Only thing is say intercontinental weapons. This nigga said intercontinental weapons.
The voice of the truth, the voice of Russia, should be amplified. It should be confident and convincing. Happy anniversary.
Спасибо. That means thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Spasibo means thank you. That translation is right.
So you can sit down now, and when Mr. President is leaving, then you can get back on your feet again. I would like to say a couple of words in response. You cannot stop them, Mr. President. Thank you. If I knew how to blush, I would have been as red as an apple. You mentioned Mr. Correa. He's here with us today, and our colleagues, our friends from every continent, from a great number of countries are here. They came here to congratulate us.
I'm writing his name down now, baby.
I believe their ancestors would be proud of them. For example, we have descendants of de Gaulle, of Bismarck, and we have MPs of European Parliament. I don't know what they will do to them when they go back to their countries, but they are here, and I would like to say thanks to all of them. Thank you very much. Mr. President, I would like to thank you because you said it right. We work based on our convictions. We defend our convictions. And it's a privilege not just to be someone who's sitting on a couch and saying something, but we can work, we can defend our convictions. We owe it to you. When you appointed me 20 years ago, I thought that the world has gone mad, and my main task was not to embarrass myself.
And she was right then, and she's right now. The world is still mad. It got madder.
Happen, and it will be turned into such a big, huge organization. And in your presence, I would like to bow down to all the guys who work with us. I mean, these are thousands of people who are risking their lives. Yesterday, our colleagues from Russia Сегодня died, and his colleague is in grave condition. Doctors are trying to save his life. Unfortunately, these are our everyday reality. When we study at the journalism school, we understand what we do, what expects us, but nevertheless, it's always a tragedy when this happens. And when they fight against us, as you marked, well, we tend to laugh at it because we are Russians, even though some of us are Armenians, and we grow stronger when this happens. So it encourages us even more. It makes us even bolder. And all these sanctions, all these bans on traveling, these attempts to stop us from communicating with someone, this means nothing in comparison with this honor, with this pride to serve our motherland. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I congratulate everyone.
All right.
Man actually wrote the plan for every world war? Not just a plan, dog boy. He wrote the script. The first two already happened. The third's still loading.
Who the hell was that guy?
Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason, the highest level. He wasn't just a general or writer. He was the architect. He built the moral software that runs their system. Order out of chaos.
So what did his script say?
He said the first war would destroy empires and faith in kings. That was World War I. The second would destroy nationalism and make way for the rise of Israel. That was World War II. And the third would erupt between political Zionism and the Islamic world. A war so devastating, it would drag every nation into spiritual exhaustion. Ask yourself, if every war rebuilt the world, what do they want this one to build?
And after that?
After that, humanity would be so broken it would accept a new universal truth. A single world belief system built from ashes. That's the end game.
But look around, Peter. The tension's already here. The Middle East, protests everywhere. Religion versus ideology. Nobody agreeing on reality.
Exactly. That's how it starts. Before the bombs, there's division. Before armies, there's belief. And look, they're already testing it. Religion versus religion. Left versus right. Man versus woman. They don't care who wins. Only that you pick a side.
They just need the spark. One event to make the world choose sides.
And when that happens, people won't realize they've been scripted into it since birth.
So the real third war isn't coming. It's building.
Yeah, kid. And when it hits, it won't just redraw borders. It'll rewrite what people believe in. And when it's done, they'll call it peace and give it a Nobel Prize.
So what do they really want from us?
They don't need to conquer you, Brian. They just need you to think like they want you to think and call it freedom.
Is it true one man actually...
Yep. Here's what it is. Now, it goes something deeper. Pause. What up, though, GBA Radio? What's good, Jordan? Much love to my goddess, Crystal.
Happens when we die.
Don't ask him that. He'll probably say the clouds are AI or something.
I won't, but I'll say this. You've been lied to about what death is. That white light, it's not heaven. It's a recycling plant.
But I saw that in documentaries. Everyone says they see it in near-death stories.
Exactly. Everyone sees it. Because it's part of the program.
Wait, are you saying the light is a trap?
I'm saying it's engineered. Ancient Tibetans warned monks, avoid the light, walk past it. Gnostics called it the soul trap of the archons. Even modern regressions, Dolores Cannon, Robert Monroe, same thing. A fake heaven built to reinsert you into the matrix.
So the light isn't God or heaven?
No, Chris, it's code. It reads your memories like files. It wears a mask, your mom's face, your grandma's voice. Then it says, come home, and you follow. You might relax a bit, but then you're into another life, another wipe, another round of suffering, and the soul harvesting program is being fed of your emotions and feelings.
That sounds terrifying.
Then ask yourself, why do the elites fear death less than you? Because they don't go into the light, they exit the game.
How?
Rituals, symbols, knowledge. The Egyptians didn't build pyramids for decoration. The Freemasons don't talk about ascension for nothing. They prepare. You watch Netflix. They read soul escape protocols.
So reincarnation is just forced?
Forced, farmed, controlled. You die. You see the light. You go. You forget. You're back. Just like that.
But NDEs say they feel peace.
So do cows before the bolt hits. Peace isn't proof. It's anesthesia.
What should we do then?
Next time it happens, remember this. Do not go toward the light. Ask, who are you? Say, I do not consent. This soul belongs to me. I choose freedom. And if you're conscious enough, you'll feel it glitch.
What's on the other side if we don't go?
No one knows, because the ones who made it out never came back. Repost this video and follow before...
Now let's get off into some Earl Nightingale.
Ever given much thought to the idea that the spoils in life go to the risk takers? If you give it some thought, I think you'll come up with the same solution I arrived at. A survey indicated that 98% of the men in the country are looking for security in their work. That is, they're mainly interested in losing themselves deep in the warm, nourishing viscera of some large corporation, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. I'm just commenting on it. But these are not, as a rule, the risk takers. They're more the play it safers. And while they can have good and successful careers all their working lives, the chances are against their hitting the big jackpot. Now, the reason I say this is because this sort of life, as a rule, does not encourage a man to do much more than he has to do. And he'll usually spend his free time, which comes to something like 72 hours a week when he's neither working nor sleeping, in pursuits not calculated to help him get ahead in the world. Now, the man who risks his spare time writing a book, painting pictures, fiddling with inventions, continuing his education, is generally the one in this kind of milieu who will advance above his fellows. But the man who risks all of his time on a goal he wants to reach, on a dream in his heart, who stakes his livelihood and the livelihood of his family upon his own brains and the proper use of his time, and tackles the world single-handed, here's the risk-taker to whom the spoils will generally accrue. Now, I'm not talking about the impractical dreamer and stargazer. I'm talking about the man of action who gets out and raises the dust in the world. He might take some king-sized pratfalls and be snickered at by friends and relatives of a more conservative bent, but he'll usually make the grade if he stays with it, and earn their admiration, if not envy, before he's through. You know, one of the biggest factors in his favor is the size of the group he belongs to. According to the most reliable figures I can find, this risk-taker belongs to only about 2% of the population. And since he's generally working on an idea that will in some way serve the big 98%, the odds swing rather favorably to his side. Additionally, a man on his own must think. He must devote more of his days to thinking. Conversely, the man with a good steady job who's familiar with his work and surroundings can go along pretty well from day to day without doing any creative thinking at all. And as I said, we have a tendency to do no more than we have to. Anybody who spends a good deal of his time thinking is going to come up with a good idea once in a while. The law of averages is definitely on his side. And if you think about it a minute, you realize that he only needs a few, maybe only one really good idea to make it big. Now, the more you think about it and analyze it, the more it makes you think that what appears to be the risk taker really isn't nearly as big a risk taker as you might imagine. The cards are stacked pretty well for him from several important standpoints. But as I said in the beginning, the spoils definitely go to the risk taker. Life is full of hidden contradictions. One is that the man who thinks he's playing it safe really isn't. And the man who seems to be taking the greatest risks, considering the law of averages, is playing it safest.
People who do well in the world, being creative and willing to take a calculated risk, are people who manage to overcome the fear of laughter. Anytime you attempt anything in which you risk failure, you run the risk of having people laugh at you. A college professor worked for many years on an invention. He tramped all over New England trying to interest capital in his device for making the human voice travel along a wire. The people laughed at him. It was, of course, plumb idiotic, they said, to suppose that the human voice could be carried along a wire and heard for many miles or even for a single mile. But our old friend and benefactor Alexander Graham Bell could not be laughed out of it, and every time we pick up the telephone, we salute the man who stayed on course despite the laughter. Millions of people laughing in derision could not hurt us an iota, but we stand in mortal terror of it. Men and women who can prove themselves heroes in great crises tremble before derision. It's a queer quirk of human nature we probably develop as children. It has cost much. It's changed the history of the world. Sometimes the price of a laugh has meant the slamming of a door of fame and fortune or even immortality. Elias Howe invented the sewing machine, but it nearly rusted away before the American women stopped laughing about it and could be persuaded to make use of it. With their sewing done so quickly, they argued, what would they ever do with all their spare time? So a biographer paints a tragic picture. The man who had done more than any other to lighten the work of women was forced to borrow a suit of clothes on an occasion of a public appearance. Men are as bad as women when it comes to resisting new ideas. The typewriter had been a demonstrated success for years before businessmen could be persuaded to buy it. How could anyone have letters to write, they argued, to justify the investment of $100 in a writing machine? Only when the Remingtons sold patent rights to the Telegraph Company and two groups of salesmen worked in competition was the resistance finally broken down. Xerography faced the same kind of problem when it was first introduced, and other inventions have had similar battles. Here's an extract from a notebook of Robert Fulton, who invented the steamship which changed the world from sail to steam on the oceans of the world. He wrote, as I had occasion daily to pass to and from the shipyard where my boat was in progress, I often loitered near the groups of strangers and heard various remarks as to the object of this new vehicle. The language was uniformly that of scorn, sneer, or ridicule. The loud laugh often rose at my expense, the dry jest, the wise calculations of losses or expenditures, the dull repetition of Fulton's folly. Never did a single encouraging remark, a bright hope, a warm wish cross my path. Never did a single encouraging remark, a bright hope, a warm wish cross my path. And that's about what you can expect when you try something new. Emerson once commented that no one ever falls ill, but that passers-by idly hope that he will die. And the same perversity and built-in envy cause people to think or hope that any new idea or plan that runs counter to established principle will fail. Speaking of Emerson, he also wrote, Pythagoras was misunderstood, and Socrates, and Jesus, and Luther, and Copernicus, and Galileo, and Newton, and every pure and wise spirit that ever took flesh. To be great is to be misunderstood. You know, we tend to forget that the greatest people, the greatest writers, the greatest teachers were for the most part in violent disagreement with their times and the way things were being done. We seem to have become so flabby in our acceptance of anything that we fail to do anything personally about what we see about it. Norman Cousins has written that the biggest issue of all in the years just ahead is not just the squandering of physical resources, but the squandering of human resources. What constitutes failure? What does a person have to do or not do in order to fail? Herman Melville died in 1891. He wrote the book Moby Dick, the whaling epic with its tremendous metaphysical concept of evil at the age of 30. The book was published in 1851, sold a few copies, and then was promptly forgotten except by the limited connoisseurs of creative writing. Melville lived 40 years beyond publication of Moby Dick. He considered himself and his book a failure, and from a publisher's point of view, Melville was right. Of his other novels, Billy Budd remained unpublished for 40 years after his death, and like Moby Dick, has since become a literary classic. Today, sales of Melville's works run into the millions, but there is no retroactive compensation for the author's troubled soul or shoddy purse. So what is failure? Failure does not come to a person because he is not recognized by the multitudes during his lifetime or ever. Our success or failure has nothing to do with the opinions of others. It has only to do with our own opinion of ourselves and what we're doing. The only person that can be called a failure is that person who tries to succeed at nothing. Success, as far as a person is concerned, does not lie in achievement. It lies in striving, reaching, attempting. Any person who decides upon a course of action he deems to be worthy of him and sets out to accomplish that goal is a success right then and there. Therefore, failure consists not in failing to reach our goals, but rather in not establishing them. Failure consists of not trying, and certainly Melville and all the others who were not recognized until long after their death were successful during their lives because of the fact that they strove all of their lives and gave to their work the best that was in them. And for every Melville that we read about, there have been millions of men who were equally successful, of whom we'll never hear. People who didn't write books or try to save the world, but who, in their own quiet way, in their own places, gave to what they had chosen the best that was in them. Melville must have known deep within himself when he finished the last page of Moby Dick that he had not failed, just as each of us knows how much of himself he's giving to what has been given him, what he has chosen to do.
People who play it too safe take the greatest risks. Did you know that? In the long haul, the intelligent risk takers develop the greatest security. Is a wise person who learns the importance of risk taking. During World War II, psychologist E. Paul Torrance made a study of United States aces flying in the Pacific Theater of Operations. He reported that the most salient characteristic of the ace was his risk-taking ability. Throughout his life, he had kept testing the limits of his abilities, and the life histories of these men showed that they were highly resistant to accidents, and in combat, they suffered fewer casualties than pilots who were inclined to play it safe. Dr. Torrance said, living itself is a risky business. If we spent half as much time learning how to take risks as we spend avoiding them, we wouldn't have nearly so much to fear in life. In all walks of life, the most successful people are the risk takers. Now, by that I mean they risk believing in their own ideas, striking out toward their own goals, standing up for what they believe to be right. They take the risk of being different when they believe in something. Now, this has a tendency to make the going a little tougher for a while, but they almost always wind up ahead of the game eventually. Risk takers realize there's nothing wrong with an occasional failure. The play it safer seem to think a failure means the end of the world. The risk takers are not foolhardy. Getting back to the World War II aces for a moment, it was found that these men were very fussy about their airplanes, armament, and equipment. They were painstaking in preparation, highly disciplined in following instructions and what they had been taught. But in an encounter with the enemy, they would immediately take charge and go on the offense. The best defense is often a good offense. The best pass defense in football is to rush the quarterback. When a storm comes up, ships in the harbor head for the raging open sea unless they're protected in slips. In the harbor, they can drag their anchors and wind up on the beach or the breakwater. So what appears to be risk-taking is often the most intelligent course to follow. It leads to security, while what would appear to be the safest course of action can lead to disaster or simply nowhere. A young woman whose romance had gone on the rocks told her mother that she was never going to permit herself to fall in love again. You only get hurt, she said. And if you don't fall in love, her mother said, you don't live. It's another one of those risks the successful person is willing to take. Everyone runs risks, quite sizable risks, every day of his life. Risks he takes for granted or isn't even aware of. But when an unusual situation comes along that involves risk-taking, how do you decide whether or not to go ahead? When a situation comes along that involves risk and you don't know whether to go ahead or hold back, reassess your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? What are you working toward? Will taking this risk, if it works out successfully, help you toward your goals? There's nothing some people like to do better than to give advice. Unfortunately, a lot of advice that's dished out would have to be classified as useless information. If I had to pick a winner in the useless information department, it would probably be the advice that goes, look before you leap. It is a good recommendation for swimmers and jumpers, but as far as life is concerned, it's impossible to do. We can look backward. We can see the results of our past actions and learn from them, but we can't look into the future. In living, we can guess or try to predict what the future will hold, but we really can't look before we leap. As a result of this, most people simply don't leap at all. But it's a wonderful and little-known fact that for those who dare to attempt a new and seemingly difficult leap, the results are often surprisingly successful and rewarding. Now, this is something that needs some explaining and no little qualification. The leap we take should be in line with two important criteria. One, it should be towards something we want with all our heart. And two, it should be in a field in which we have a good background of experience, or at least in the first one to ever do so. But behind him were years of flying experience, including flying the mail in all kinds of weather with virtually no navigational aids.
Exactly, Crystal. Me too. I still gotta look before I leave, for real.
But he was well prepared for the leap, and it made him rich and famous. Columbus did the same thing. He wanted to do something that had never been tried before. He believed it could be done, and he was a highly skilled sailor and navigator, and he had the best ships then available for the journey. All human progress is a result of this kind of thing, and on a much smaller scale, the same principle can be applied to our lives. If there's something you want very much to do, if you know it's right, and if you're prepared to try it, the chances are excellent that you'll meet with surprising success. And after you've taken a big jump, you'll probably wonder why you waited so long. Of course, there's always the risk of failure. Lindbergh could have been killed. Columbus's little fleet could have met with disaster. Einstein might have been wrong. Washington might have been defeated and hanged along with all the signers of the Declaration of Independence by the British. But the fact is, they were not. It brings to mind again the great lines spoken by Thucydides in his funeral speech for Pericles. The secret of happiness is freedom, and the secret of freedom, courage. You'll never get elected unless you expose yourself to defeat. You'll never make it to second base if you try to keep one foot on first. You will never achieve the dream in your heart unless you take the big jump and are willing to risk everything, even failure, on the attempt. If it's what's right for you and you've prepared yourself as best you can for the attempt, the chances are excellent that you'll meet with success. As Lincoln put it, let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith, let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it. No, you can't look before you leap, but you can leap. Dr. Joyce Brothers has some good advice.
I'm still looking before I leap.
She points out that everyone is familiar with fear. Normal fear protects us and provides a warning signal indicating the presence of danger. A totally fearless person is probably not too intelligent and can look forward to a very short life. But when fear is inappropriate, it can stand in the way of progress and success. It can destroy love, create failure on the job, and interfere with our ability to relate well to others. Innovation and creativity involve risk, Dr. Brothers goes on to say. The person who's afraid to take chances, who's afraid of failure, is standing in the way of his progress. In fact, an emotionally healthy person needs challenge in life. Studies show that people who are cautious in the extreme, who are afraid to take risks even when the odds are in their favor, tend to be afraid of life itself, which of course is also a gamble. Such persons are not likely to succeed in business or anything else. So Dr. Brothers suggests that such people practice failure. How liberating it would be for the average person to be able to walk into a room, trip over a wastebasket, have all the people in the office laugh, and then be able to laugh with them. In fact, Dr. Brothers suggests that fearful people deliberately do such things to discover that an occasional failure is no disgrace, but rather a perfectly normal part of living. I remember when I was just starting out in radio, I managed to get the part of Sky King, the lead in a famous children's radio program of that name, and I'd often be asked to make public appearances for school children. One day I flew up to Michigan to greet and sign autographs for several hundred children allowed out of school for the event. I flew there in a small two-seater airplane. I was dressed in my cowboy costume, from the hat to the cowboy boots, gun belt, the works. As I was trying to climb out of the airplane cockpit in my unaccustomed costume, while the hundreds of children watched and waited nearby, I caught my heel on the cockpit coaming and fell full length on the wing. Then I did a slow roll off the trailing edge of the wing to the ground. My guns fell out, my hat rolled away, and a death-like silence fell on the children. There was their hero, sprawled on the grass. He couldn't even get out of an airplane. Well, I picked up my guns, put my hat back on, and with a sheepish grin from ear to ear, walked to the waiting children. We all had a good laugh about it, and I signed the autographs, and all went surprisingly well. And as I flew back to Chicago, I thought about how often children fall, and that they could easily empathize with me. Don't lose your sense of humor, and remember that even though they may laugh, people are kinder and more forgiving than we generally give them credit for being. Risks and pratfalls are a part of life. So is an occasional failure in other ways.
And you know, like, this is Earl Nightingale. Like, if those who don't know who this guy is, this is Earl Nightingale. I listen to Earl Nightingale and Alan Watts and Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic. Those are the big four. And real shit that got me through Shattering Paradigms. I know I'm this revolutionary person you see, but this is where the radical and rational comes in at. This is where my balance comes in at. You know, and I don't agree with everything 100% because Earl Nightingale is speaking from a place of comfort. I'm coming from a place as a prisoner of war on my own fucking land. You know what I'm saying? So I can apply what I can, like as a person that just grab my truth from whatever I hear, apply it to my life and keep it rolling, you know. But when it comes to the main shit that worked, it was Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts, Bobby Hemming, and Brother Panic. Real shit. And it's still all about doing the inner work and shadow work. And that's really all what all four of them have in common. Do that inner work, do that shadow work, unlock your power. And it's on all levels. When it comes to Bobby Hemming and Brother Panic, it's about the magic. Earl Nightingale and Alan Watts, it's about, let's just say, the magic within. It's still like the same as the magic with Bobby Hemming and Brother Panic, but like the magic within, when it comes to Earl Nightingale and Alan Watts, it comes to actually dealing with society. When it comes to the magic, you're protecting yourself and actually activating your fucking power. So with the best of both worlds, and if knowledge is power, then a God am I. Simple. That's the whole goal. Unlock my power and get the fuck off this fucking rock. But also, most importantly, take whoever I can with me if I can be able to teach this. Like, the moment I unlock this shit, I'm calling motherfuckers like, yo, nigga, this is how you do it. Like, I'm talking like real shit. Nigga, let's get the fuck out of here. Or let's destroy some shit. However the game go, the Viva la Revolution. But he said, yeah, exactly. They power be weird. It's only weird because we haven't seen it firsthand in the human world. We only see this shit in movies, TV shows, and video games. But if my apartment building can get caught on fire and my apartment is the only one left standing, this power fucking works. And I ain't talking out the side of my neck. I got proof. I was on the fucking news. So when everybody say hurricane, you bullshit, and I'm like, shit, I already showed it on the news. Type in Detroit West Side apartment fire, and you will see a picture of me with a hoodie on and a black flag around my fucking face. I mean, across my neck. And like I said it before and I say it again. Like what I did was I was heavy in meditation. Had my candles, incense, made sure I did my altar work, and I spoke affirmation in each room, including the closet. I place protection on this apartment. I place protection on this apartment building. Let no harm, danger, negativity, or evil come to it. Let no germ, virus, or disease or infection come to it. Let no sickness come to it. And let no arson come to it. This apartment is safe, secure, and protected. I am safe, secure, and protected. I am strong. I am wise. I am true. I am God. I spoke that affirmation in every room of my house, including the closet. So when that fire happened, my crib was the only one not fucking touched. Now, if I was to put religion aside and my spirituality aside, I'd just be a nigga to be like, I don't know what the fuck happened. That is an anomaly because this is 1 out of a million chance of happening. Kids had to jump out windows. Firefighters was 3rd-degree burns. It was a fucked up fire. But for my crib to still be standing, oh yeah. In the words of Captain Planet, the power is yours. You did. But we gave all of our power to Jesus and Allah and all this other shit instead of believing in ourselves. That was the problem. I've been in that bitch for 2.5 years. So 2.5 years of pure meditation, pure affirmation of just speaking peace. I'm just speaking peace and protection in my crib. Just picture if I would have spoke destruction. Just think about that. If I would have been devoted to just destroying shit and putting my power into destroying shit. Man, I would have been destroyed this fucking government with a full armor of protection on me. On some motherfucking Rashad Jamal shit. What that nigga was saying wasn't a lie either. So it's like, yo, because like once I came across him, I already knew about the power because of Bobby Hemming and Brother Panic. So as soon as I came across Rashad Jamal, I was like, yep, he understands, and I just kept watching this video until they locked his ass up. But like real shit, the power is yours. And yes, it's miraculous. It may seem like a movie, but I ain't shot no fireball out my hand yet. But shit, you think I'm not working on it? You think I'm not trying to blow up shit with my mind? Like nigga, real shit. All the powers is at our disposal. And the powers that shouldn't be told us that it's demonic. But they reading the books to unlock the power to use against us. So hashtag fuck the government and the elites and the secret societies that's not so secret no more. You can't even call it secret society no more. You got to call it the societies that run the world. Okay, the church door be always open. Let Jesus in. Yep. I wish. I'm glad you playing. Because if it was anybody else, I'd have been like, I prayed that nigga all my life. That motherfucker never showed up. But the moment I did my own thing, shit started working. Hashtag fuck Jesus too. But you know about what? God damn, I gotta put my fucking glasses on. Shit. All right, what's that? What you know about Fazione? Did I say that right? Fazione? I don't know what that is. Like without my glasses, that shit said false cone. I'm like, what the fuck is a false cone? Until I put my glasses on. It sounded like it said Fazione. Oh, okay. What do you know about phase one? No, phase one. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, no, you spelled that wrong. Now, let me take my glasses off. Now, I definitely would have saw that. Nope, no, I didn't. Because like from a distance, it said like no phone on. Yep. God damn it. I need at least a Cougar Town. Where can I get one? You must not be listening. I told you Cougar Town is hidden like Wakanda, man. You gotta roam around and pay attention to the myths and gifts. If they give you the eye contact, that's when you pursue. And then they give you the keys. It's that simple. Or they will come to you and put the keys in your fucking hand. But you just gotta be there and keep your eyes open. Look for the eyes, look for body language, and pursue. Like real shit. But best believe, I'm trying to tell you this because all the other shit, just like walking up to a cougar, don't work. It's I mean, like it works. You're just gonna be like rejected 1,000 times before you get a couple numbers. But you're gonna hear, I gotta kill your edge, 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 gotta kill your edge. The next one is, I don't want to get hurt, 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 I don't want to get hurt. And next is, which one? What the fuck is it? Because I swear to God. I heard I heard the first two like 1,000 times. I'm trying to figure out all the rare ones. Oh, stop playing. I'm too old for you. And the next one, I'm your mother's age or your grandmother's age. I'm your mother's age or your grandmother's age. I'm your mother's age or your grandmother's age. Yeah. And I think the other one is the same as the other one is a chick my age or a chick that's younger. I think we're moving too fast. Like, bitch, you got no motherfucking time left. Let's motherfucking put our mind, money, and resource together, love each other, and motherfucking make some shit work. Jesus fucking Christ. Moving too fast, but you won't say that shit to Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray Ray, and Chad, and Brad, and shit, though. But it's too fast for me. Okay. All right. But yeah, Jordan, that's what you got to go through if you try to just like walk up. But just pay attention to the eye contact and you should be good. And go to certain places where they hang out. Go to a Martha's Vineyard. Go to the place where they always wear the flower dresses and the sun hats and shit on that garden and shit. Go there. Bingo. Go to a concert. That is for like the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s legends. Just go there, probably grab one. And I said bingo, right? I will say go to church, but hell no. But you might find one in the market, you know what I'm saying? But like you that neo soul guy, so you gotta go to, like try to go to a one of them one of the fucking black bookstores that be doing them open mics and poetry jams and shit, or them spoken word spots. You might find one there. And shit, you good. Right now, I bet you don't. That's why I'm glad I'm 37. That's why I'm glad I'm 37. But baby, Crystal, like real shit, even if I was 25, you would be like, God damn, you would know. So you would take a risk with me. I know you would. Would you? Well, no. I ain't gonna say I know, but if I was 27, you would like at least, yeah. So like I'm not too far away. All right, but if I was 27, okay, cool. All right. All right, cool. Like 25, but like 27, you would have gave me a chance, bet it up. But thank God I'm 37. Thank God I'm 37. Shouts out to my goddess Crystal over there in California. Love. That's my Cali Crystal. Let me say this right now. So because I love saying this. When I destroy this world, you will be the goddess of the new one. And I gotta have to laugh with it too. So yeah. You already know what it is. I'm glad I'm 37. I wouldn't have if you're 30. I wouldn't have if you was 30. Wow, goddamn. Man, what the fuck did these niggas do, man? God, that's what happens when you fuck with a beautiful goddess and just fuck her over. God damn. Don't worry, baby. I'm here. Don't worry, baby. I'm here. And I'm 37. I'll be 38 in January. I mean, yeah, I'll be 38 in January. And my daughter will be officially 18, grown. Cool. I'm glad I'm close, baby. I'm glad I'm close. I'm 37. I'll be 38 in January. So let's get it. Holy shit. 41 next month on Turkey Day. On the actual day. If your cougars love you, why you asking to get to Cougar Town? Jordan, you wildin'. You say, first you say how you get to Cougar Town, and I let out a whole fucking blueprint. Then you say your cougars love you. Like, what the fuck is you? What the fuck you asked the question for? Like, I would have never went off until motherfucking places to go. Jesus fucking shit, motherfucking Waka Flocka Flame as fuck. What the SSI? 63 plus is wild. Unless you look like Sade. That's it. That was GBA. Oh, that was GBA. Oh. God damn. See, like I took my glasses back off. I wasn't paying the fucking attention. I'm looking at the comments instead of looking at the name next to it. I need to. God, wait a minute. Hurricane, are you a Capricorn? I'm January 17th. Yep, so I'm Capricorn. I know they want to be like you on the borderline of Aquarius, but I just choose full-fledged Capricorn. But like I know how some people always be like, you are kind of both. some shit. And I think I heard another one. I forgot. But on January 17th. I think that's the same day as Ali. Same day as a whole bunch of other great superstars. On some real shit. There's a lot of great superstars born on my birthday. Yep. You already know. Capricorn, baby. The only thing I hate about Tyrese bitch ass make us all look bad. He the only motherfucker that make Capricorns look bad. The only motherfucker. But like we got like a whole bunch of great legends that's born on my fucking birthday or fucking born in my butt. But Tyrese, you damn near tarnished my fucking month, you son of a bitch. February 16th. That's what's up. Damn, boots cost too much. Hell yeah. I go to the church giveaways to grab boots. Fuck the bullshit. I wear size motherfucking 12, so it is what it is. That shit high as fuck. So I'm like, all right, which church is giving away shit? All I need is some shit just to get me through the winter. I ain't trying to look fly. Give me some fucking boots. Motherfuckers grabbing Timbos. I'm like, nigga, Timbos, it's not a weather boot. It's a stylish boot. Feet cold as hell, but you crispy as fuck, though. Feet about to fucking get cut off. Frostbiting this bitch. Like, nigga, wildin'. Like, nigga, give me the weatherproof boots. Weather and rain proof, by the way. To get the ones with the motherfucking fur on the inside of them shits. Like, nigga. I'm talking about the boots you gotta wear when you doing power washing at stadiums, nigga. Give me those boots. On some real shit. Motherfuckers want to look fly. All right, nigga, look fly with your feet cut off next month. The fuck is my shit at? Well, yeah, that was Earl Nightingale. We got another from Earl Nightingale too. Well, like and I got one from Alan Watts. Oh, how tall am I? Oh, baby, I'm 5'7". 5'7". Weight fluctuates between 155, 165, depending on what's going on in my fucking life. Right now, I think I'm probably like 160. Probably, as a matter of fact, I think maybe like between 157 and 160, I think. They start looking. Every time I always get on the scale, I'll always damn near be off one or down one. So, it is what it is. I want to say 5'7.5", but they were like, no, they don't put that half on the life. I'm 5'7" then, bitch. I think I'm Rey Mysterio height or a little taller. I don't know if Rey Mysterio 5'6" or 5'7". I know I'm taller than Rey Mysterio, probably by an inch. Who's that jumping out the sky? Rey Mysterio. Here we go.
It is a summation of more than 20 years of research on one subject, and that is, why do some people do so well in life, while so many more do not? And the first thing let's talk about is the magic word. The experts call it the most important word as far as the results we get from life are concerned in this or any other language. And that word is attitude. It is our attitude toward life which will determine life's attitude toward us. Let's face the fact honestly that we shape our own lives, and the shapes of them will be determined by our attitudes. A person with a poor attitude toward learning, for example, isn't going to learn much until he changes his attitude. If we take the attitude that we cannot do something, we generally will not do it. An attitude of failure, and we're whipped.
You said that's what's up? Okay, cool, baby. Because everybody be like, you too short, you too short, you too short, you too short, you too short. I'm like, but girl, I'm taller than you. But I want someone taller than you. All right, you want to look like... Okay, all right, fuck it. I've been through that over a million fucking times. Thank God I can be with someone that actually loves me for who I am. Thank fucking God. I deserve this. After all the fuck I've been through and what I'm still going through now. Fuck. That's another reason why God gotta catch these hands. I'm like, bitch, you waited till I was 37, nigga? Well, shouts out to everybody. Oh, word. Oh, well, damn. Fuck me up. Well, back to the video.
Before we start. So we know then that what we receive from life, what we accomplish or fail to accomplish, is due in large measure to our overall attitude. William James of Harvard University put it this way: the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. And isn't it wonderful that we have this measure of control? Before we start talking about our attitude toward the world, let's talk about our attitude toward ourselves, since it is the attitude we take toward ourselves which determines our attitude toward the world. Now, right here we come to a rather strange fact. We're so familiar with ourselves, we tend to take ourselves for granted. We tend to minimize the things we can accomplish, the goals we can reach, and for some equally strange reason, believe others can accomplish things in our field which we cannot. There are literally millions of human beings living narrow, darkened, frustrated lives, living defensively, simply because they take a defensive, doubtful attitude toward themselves, and as a result, toward life in general. Many people are suspicious of and oppose change, yet change is the one thing in life on which we can absolutely count. People who stay young all the years of their lives not only welcome change, but see it for what it really is: new opportunity, new chances for further fulfillment. Attitude is a reflection, a result of a person's will. It is incalculably powerful. It can bring about marvelous results for us.
That's a sexy height. That's a height that, that's to me that's a perfect height. Just still look in your eyes, still pick you up, play with you, you know what I'm saying? Spin around. I like that.
But we need to train it patiently, day by day. Now let's talk about the attitudes of people who are successful. The top 5% of the people who go sailing through life from one success to another, and who, even when they fail at something, shrug it off and head right out again. No matter who the person is or what he does, men and women in sales, business executives, people in all the professions, wives and mothers, students, top people in the armed forces, public servants, men and women in the service of religion, working men and women in all fields of endeavor, wherever you find a person doing an outstanding job and getting outstanding results, you will find a person with the right kind of attitude.
Now just hold
These
on
people
to me,
take the
baby.
attitude toward themselves that they can accomplish what they set out to accomplish, that there's no good reason on earth why they can't be competent, successful. They have a healthy attitude toward themselves and, as a result, toward life and the things they want to accomplish. And because of this, they achieve some remarkable things, and they come to be called successful, outstanding, brilliant, lucky, and a lot of other things. They're quite frequently no more brilliant or outstanding than the majority of the people by whom they're surrounded. But they did develop the right attitude, and they found their accomplishments not too difficult, and many times surprisingly easy, simply because it seems that so few are really trying, really believe in themselves. Successful people come in all shapes and sizes and in widely varying degrees of intelligence, background, and so on. But they all have one thing in common. They expect more good out of life than bad. They expect to succeed more than they fail. If you want something worthwhile, take the attitude that there are a lot more reasons why you can have it than there are that you cannot, and set out to earn it. Go after it, work at it, ask for it, and 9 times out of 10, you'll get it. Our environment is really a mirror of our mental attitude. If we don't like our environment, we have to change our attitude first. Now, the world plays no favorites. It's impersonal. It doesn't care whether we change or not. Adopting a good, healthy attitude toward life doesn't affect the world and the people in it nearly as much as it affects us. It would be impossible to even estimate the number of jobs which have been lost, the number of promotions missed, the number of sales not made, the number of marriages ruined by poor attitudes. But you can number in the millions the jobs which are held but hated, the marriages which are tolerated but unhappy, all because of people who are waiting for the world and others to change toward them, instead of being big enough and wise enough to at least make a test which will prove beyond any shadow of a doubt where most or at least a big part of the trouble lies. Studies made of the lives of literally thousands of successful people have shown that they radiate confidence, assurance, they expect success, and they get success. You can spot these people by the way they walk, by the way they look and act. You can feel it about them when they enter a room. They may be short and fat, or tall and thin, or any combination in between, but they have about them the attitude of success. In the record Greener Pastures, I'll get into this next statement, but right now I want you to realize, if you don't already, that in 5 years or less, you can get right to the top of the work you're now doing. I know this, but the important question here is, do you know this? The minute you do know it, you'll have this right attitude I'm talking about.
I don't want nobody in my car either. I was, yeah, I'm talking about like if I would have had a car, I wouldn't want to do it either. I'd be doing the Uber Eats. I wouldn't want to know. I'd probably have to pop somebody. I'm like getting smart with me or to throwing up in my shit. Like, nah. Or fuck it, bleeding on my motherfucking seat. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't give a fuck what happened. Like, god damn, bleeding on my fucking seat. You know, blam. I gotta wipe some more blood off. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The easiest and most effective means of forming a good attitude habit is to begin to act as though you have a good, positive, expectant attitude toward life. That's right. Begin right now to walk, act, and look as though you belong to this group. If you're already in the top 5%, you'll know what I mean. If you've never tried it, you'll be amazed at what happens. Actions trigger feelings, just as feelings trigger actions. Now, let me tell you of a little test you can make which will prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that a good attitude can change a person's life as dramatically as walking from a darkened room into the bright, clear light of day.
Now, I'm playing Earl Nightingale because like some people probably never heard him before. And some of the shit that he's saying, most of us in here probably already know. But this is for those that don't. It's probably going through, you know, like whatever's going on in their life. You know what I'm saying? You know, like this is like for like life lessons or whatever, you know, but it's still like inner work and shadow work talk. So like I try to bring Earl Nightingale to the picture. And I still gotta do some book readings, you know, like from the Illumination. I got a lot on the flow. But yeah, like I really want to get the knowledge out so people can learn and understand about the inner work and shadow work on all levels, from Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts, Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, and when I get to the Book of Illumination, the Shaman Way of Healing is going to be about some shit that was here 50,000 plus years before Jesus ever fucking existed. So, and plus I'm doing music, still putting the message out through the music. You already know what it is. The HHN special reports give y'all news on current events around the fucking world, you know, and the For the Government podcast where I can just go all out and say whatever the fuck I want. So it is what it is. I just wanted to, you know, just let everybody know that just in case anybody, you know, ain't up on the Earl Nightingale, just give them a listen. You know, and Alan Watts and Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic, you know. You know, like even Rashad Jamal sometimes, whatever, fuck it, top 5, whatever. But, you know, you learn something.
Not long ago, I read a line which went, "Life is dull only to dull people." This is true, but it also could have read, "Life is interesting only to interesting people," or "Life is successful only to successful people." And what I'm trying to say is that you must first become mentally, from an attitude standpoint, that which you wish to achieve. A famous restaurateur was being interviewed by a reporter who asked, "When did you become successful?" He replied, "I was successful when I was sleeping on park benches, because I knew what I wanted to do and that I would do it." In short, his attitude had been one of success, of expecting success long before the material, the tangible rewards of success had been earned. We'll get into this particular phase of Lead the Field in record number 3, A Worthy Destination. But for now, remember that a person must act, look, and because of these things, feel successful before the success he seeks can come. Chances are you know people who seem to be what others call lucky. All kinds of good and wonderful things seem to happen to them, and they give the impression of happily sailing through life, having a wonderful time, and getting more accomplished in a year than most people do in 5. This has been figured out fairly scientifically, and if anyone will conscientiously go about the test I'm going to recommend, and stay with it every day for the next 30 days without fail, that person can join this small, happy, and extremely productive group of people. He'll find himself becoming lucky, as they say, and most of his problems will pretty well take care of themselves. Of this you can be sure. The results will be nothing short of amazing. Now, it makes no difference how good a person's attitude has been in the past. Anything can be improved upon, and it's the small refinements upon something already good that makes it great. So here's the test. For the next 30 days, act toward the world, everything and everyone with whom you come in contact, with the attitude which represents the kind of results you want to achieve. That is, if the result you want is more success in what you're doing, act as though you are already in possession of the success you seek. If you want others to treat you with admiration.
That is what Jim Carrey said. And y'all know who Jim Carrey is. That's the nigga that played The Mask. He was on 11 Color, Liar Liar, Bruce Almighty, 23, and what we all love so much, which is our favorite, The Truman Show. And Jim Carrey lived fucked up too in the beginning stages, but that was his mindset all the way through. Pretend that he already got it. And I think I tapped into that mindset in like 2006 after I was studying music and the industry. And it was like, I already feel like I'm already doing what I see on the motherfucking videos, you know, because I'm already fucking doing it, you know, rocking shows, got the ladies, you know, we all on stage together, got the ladies dancing, I'm on stage, doing shows across the city for the kids and for grown-ups, doing hair shows, doing open mics, doing showcases, you know, Head Start programs, protests, did it all, man. But y'all see my documentary, like that'll be coming soon. I don't know how soon. I don't know if it'll be the end of this, I mean, like probably the end of next year. I'm not really sure. I gotta get all the shit together, you know. But y'all would know when I'm about to be finished when I start coming to each and every one of y'all for y'all quick videos, you know, quick clips, so y'all experience, you know, with, you know, like with chilling with my channel or like doing a feature or whatever. You know, like when I start hollering at all y'all, that's when y'all know I'm at the end of my documentary and I'm about to get ready to drop that bitch. So till then, just be on the lookout. Because real shit, man, like I'm on my revolutionary time now because I did everything. I did my humanitarian work. I gave back to the community, did my music. It's time to fight now. Real shit. That's how I feel personally. Personally, that's how I feel. But what I really truly desire, you know, I desire peace. I desire peace with a beautiful chick, house, and some land, and we just living our fucking life. But I know for a fact there won't be no peace unless we prepare for war with motherfuckers that's trying to take away peace and freedom of speech and freedom of expression and our just whole fucking way of living in general. I'm like, I think I should just eradicate these motherfuckers first so I can kick back and fucking relax. At least like that's the common sense I motherfucking see. Otherwise, a motherfucker gonna be on the run forever, just trying to have some fucking peace. So why not go all out? At least that's how I see it. Call me crazy, call me psychotic, but goddamn, I did everything I could do. I gave back, I put in my motherfucking work. And these cats done forgot what work is. I'm talking about without blasting a motherfucker. I did my job. Still trying to be righteous, still trying to live right, still trying to be cool. Honestly, man, you think I really want to shoot a motherfucker in the fucking face? I want to kick back, relax with a beautiful woman on some fucking land, smoking a nice ass fucking blunt on chill mode. That's what I fucking want. That's what I desire. It is what it is. It's Viva la Revolution.
And respect, treat others with admiration and respect first. Have you ever stopped to think of this? Every human being on Earth is the most important human being on Earth as far as he or she is concerned. You may never get anyone to admit it, but it's a fact. So for the next 30 days, treat every person with whom you come in contact as the most important person on earth, remembering as you do so that as far as that person is concerned, he is. Now, the reason I say treat everyone in this fashion is mainly because this is the way human beings ought to treat each other, and because it will help you form a habit that will bring you amazing and delightful results for the rest of your life. Have you ever noticed that the higher you go in any organization of value, the nicer the people seem to become? You see, the bigger the person, the easier it is to talk to him, to get along with him, to do business with him. You know why? It's because he's got a good attitude, and people with the best attitudes just naturally gravitate toward the top. So for 30 days, act toward others in the world at large in exactly the same manner you want the world and others to act toward you. Treat your wife or husband as the person he or she really is, the most important person in your life. The same with the children. Carry out into the world each morning for 30 days the kind of attitude you would have if you were the most successful human being on earth. And notice how it quickly develops into an habitual attitude. When a person does this, he should realize he has already placed himself on the road to what he seeks. He is right now in the top 5% of the people in this or any other country. He has prepared the ground and planted the seed. He has made of himself a magnet, an embodiment of that which he seeks. Before metal can be cast into a desired shape, the mold, the expectant receptacle, must first be fashioned. Before a building can be erected, the excavation must be made and the foundation laid. And before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must become that kind of individual. He must think, act, talk, walk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as would the person he wishes to become. He is then actually that person, and the things that person would have and do will naturally come to him. Almost immediately, a change will be noticed. Irritations that used to frustrate and annoy disappear. When some less informed individual gives you a bad time, stay on the track. When someone cuts in front of you with his car or acts in any other manner that shows his ignorance and lack of courtesy, don't permit yourself to drop to his level. Pity him, for that's what he really deserves. That's the very group a person doesn't want to belong to. And if he acts like them, well, let's face it, he belongs with them. There's nothing in the world that men, women, and children want and need more than the feeling that they're important, that they're needed and respected. They will give their love, their affection, their respect, and their business to the person who fills this need. So the magic word is attitude. And in summing up, a few points to keep in mind. 1, it is our attitude at the beginning of a task which, more than anything else, will affect its successful outcome. 2, it is our attitude toward life which determines life's attitude toward us. 3, we are interdependent. It is impossible to succeed without others. And it is our attitude toward others which will determine their attitude toward us. 4, before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must become that kind of individual. He must think, act, talk, walk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as would the person he wishes to become. 5, the higher you go in any organization of value, the better will be the attitude you'll find. 6, your mind can hold only one thought at a time. And since there's nothing at all to be gained by being negative, be positive. 7, the deepest craving of human beings is to be needed, to feel important, to be appreciated. Give it to them, and they'll return it to you. 8, look for the best in new ideas. As someone said, I've never met a person I couldn't learn something from. 9, don't waste valuable time broadcasting personal problems. It probably won't help you. It cannot help others. 10, don't talk about your health unless it's good. 11, radiate the attitude of well-being, of confidence, of a person who knows where he's going. This will inspire those around you, and you'll find good things will begin happening to you. And 12, lastly, for the next 30 days, treat everyone with whom you come in contact as the most important person on earth. If you'll do this for 30 days, you'll do it for the rest of your life. In the next recording, I'll talk to you about greener pastures. But now in closing, remember the words of Walter Dill Scott of Northwestern University. Success or failure in any undertaking is caused more by the mental attitude even than by mental capacities. Thank you.
That was Earl Nightingale. I hope y'all got a message out of that. At least some. I know we don't agree with everybody 100%, but I hope y'all grabbed a couple nuggets out of that. You dig? What the fuck? Everybody go to Alan Watts real quick.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
I don't know if y'all hear me, but, just remember, I'm going to say it again, just in case the motherfucking shit fucked up. I'm like, That was Earl Nightingale. I hope y'all got some truth nuggets out of it. I know we don't fuck with everybody 100%. I know we try to grab our truth and try to apply it to our life and keep it rolling. But like listening to his work, it kind of got me through some shit. So like I figured I'd like put everybody up on because I talk about them. I think I covered them briefly on certain videos. I think I maybe covered them maybe like once or twice. I'm not really sure, but I need to cover him more. Yep, I like Alan Watts too. And I figured we'll listen to this one. And probably another one. Probably this one. This one first.
What others miss.
Oh, hold on.
You know, there's something rather peculiar that happens to certain people. They walk into a room and they feel it all. The unspoken tension between two friends. The hidden sadness behind a smile. And we've been told this is a gift, haven't we? This ability to see what...
Most importantly, hidden sadness behind words. Hidden pain beyond words. Like real shit. Let's hear that again.
You know, there's something rather peculiar that happens to certain people. They walk into a room and they feel it all. The unspoken tension between two friends. The hidden sadness behind a smile. And we've been told this is a gift, haven't we? This ability to see what others miss. But I want to suggest something quite different to you today. That this very ability, this clear seeing, might be the most dangerous thing you'll ever possess. Now, I'm not speaking of danger in the ordinary sense. I'm not talking about physical harm. I'm speaking of something far more subtle and far more devastating. The danger of becoming so aware that you can no longer participate in the beautiful unconsciousness that allows most people to live their lives in relative peace. Have you ever...
And that shit happened at the age of 5. Like just not knowing what it was at the time scared the shit out of me. And sometimes it still do. Sometimes. Like, but man. Since 5. But we're gonna go back to the beginning. Start it over.
You know, there's something rather peculiar that happens to certain people. They walk into a room and they feel it all. The unspoken tension between two friends. The hidden sadness behind a smile. And we've been told this is a gift, haven't we? This ability to see what others miss. But I want to suggest something quite different to you today. That this very ability, this clear seeing, might be the most dangerous thing you'll ever possess. Now, I'm not speaking of danger in the ordinary sense. I'm not talking about physical harm. I'm speaking of something far more subtle and far more devastating. The danger of becoming so aware that you can no longer participate in the beautiful unconsciousness that allows most people to live their lives in relative peace. Have you ever watched people at a party? Really watched them? They're playing a game, you see. Everyone knows the rules without ever being told. You ask how someone is, they say fine, and you both pretend this is a complete answer. You compliment the host, you laugh at jokes that aren't particularly funny. You nod sympathetically at stories you've heard before. It's a kind of collective agreement to stay on the surface, to keep things pleasant, to not look too deeply. But then there's you, the one who sees through it all. You notice the wife who flinches slightly when her husband speaks. You sense the colleague who's desperately lonely, despite being surrounded by friends. You feel the anxiety rippling through the room like an invisible current. And here's where the danger begins. Because once you see these things, you cannot unsee them. And more troubling still, your very presence becomes a kind of mirror that others cannot bear to look into. Let me tell you what I mean. When you see clearly, when you perceive the hidden currents beneath social interaction, you're essentially calling attention to what everyone has agreed to ignore. And people don't like this. They really don't like this. Not because they're bad or stupid, but because your clarity threatens the very structure that allows them to function. Think of it this way. Society is...
Think of it this way. My mom. My stupid ass little brother. My mentally retarded ass cousin. Not mentally retarded as in like he's mentally disabled, just mentally ill like a motherfucker. And a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. This shit really pisses me off sometimes. And it still kind of do. Like, where can I put it? How can I start this? I don't think I even have the words because I don't know. I'm trying to put it together in my head because I don't want to say it wrong. I'm trying to be proper with it. But once they notice that you notice, the energy changes. And they don't like it to the point of ridicule, name calling, saying, get out, go home. Don't tell me what to do with my money. But the shit you've been doing with your money has kept us homeless forever. I'm just trying to help you out. I know I got my own crib, but I'm just trying to make sure that you straight and don't do the same shit you do to keep you fucking fucked up. But nope. Me and my daddy can't tell me what to do. Okay. Fuck it. Friends, family, whatever. It's all the same. When you see it, can't unsee it. So what was my solution? I stayed the fuck away from everybody. And I said, if y'all motherfuckers come anywhere near me, I'm gonna blow y'all motherfucking heads off. That's what I fucking said. Because all I'm trying to do is fucking help. Y'all don't want that shit? Cool. Don't ask me for shit. Stay the fuck away from me. I'm done with y'all. Family, friends, whoever.
Rather like a stage play. Everyone has their part. The successful businessman, the devoted mother, the reliable friend. These are roles, you understand. Costumes we put on. And the play works beautifully, so long as everyone stays in character. But you, with your penetrating awareness, you're like an audience member who stands up in the middle of the performance and shouts, but that's just an actor pretending. Well, you can imagine how welcome that makes you. The first danger, then, is isolation. And I don't mean the ordinary loneliness of not having enough friends. I mean something far more profound. The isolation of living in a completely different reality from everyone around you.
Yes. If don't nobody know that feeling, I could probably just explain my experience. The feeling of walking into a world that's like, it's just like you're walking into someone else's world and you like surrounded by your own aura, but you just walking through bullshit. And you don't like what you see. You're just trying to get to your destination as quick as possible. Or you just seeing, just like I can't explain it, man, but like from my point of view and from my perspective, and even inside of my goddamn mind, I see myself just walking through bullshit. Or fuck it, I'll give you something better. Y'all remember the South Park episode where Stan woke up and everybody sounded like shit was coming out of their mouth? He couldn't even hear no fucking words. That's how it is. Every fucking day. And what did Stan do? The nigga went in his drawer, grabbed that motherfucking drink and started sipping. What I do? Grab my motherfucking blunt and start smoking. I can't hear this shit. I have my headphones on, got my blunt. Let me just get this motherfucking day over with. And another thing is like, they say like you can see it, like you can't unsee it. I'm tired of seeing so much pain and anxiety, stress, depression. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing the struggle in people's eyes. I'm tired of seeing the desperation. Everywhere I fucking go. These are the zombies. These are the zombies that I'm seeing. At least that's around me. And everywhere I go. I'm tired. But I've been seeing this shit since the age of 5. Knowing who a person is just by looking at them. That's fucking crazy. And then, just when I thought that I was crazy, like maybe I'm tripping. This person can't be that. And then you find out days, weeks, months, sometimes years later that that person was that person. That's when I knew, okay, never doubt myself. If I obtain this awareness, I'm going to use it to the best of my ability or at least try to study it so I can maneuver through life. Knowing who to talk to, knowing who not to talk to, knowing what streets to go down, knowing, knowing when to, it was just like a state of knowing and a state of awareness at the age of 5. Even some grown-ups hated me because I saw through their bullshit. You can't tell me just anything. But yep, we all medicate differently. You're right.
Speaking a language nobody else understands. You're seeing a world nobody else can see. And the terrible irony is that the more clearly you perceive, the more alone you become. I once knew a woman.
And this what let me, like I said, leave me the fuck alone. Don't come to me because it's like shit. It is what it is, man. Isolation. And then, like when I got on my own, I told like when I got on my own, when I finally got my own shit, there was a real, true, deep sense of isolation. But then I've learned on my own, I was like, if I stay like this long enough, I'm going to come to a point where I don't want to be around people. Now, I already kind of don't want to be around people, but I don't want it to be a point where I don't want to come out of my house and create a phobia. So I need to get back into being, my extroverted self. So now I guess I'm like omnivert like a motherfucker. Because I was straight up introvert like a motherfucker in high school until I met my friends. And then it was extrovert. Then it was back to being a introvert. They kept getting played by women. Like, man, fuck everybody. Kill you all. So leave me the fuck alone, right? Stay in my meditation, just like build myself and then go back out there into the world and just give it an old college try, like they always say, right? And get played. So then Came to a realization, like, all right, let me just find my niche. I already know my niche is, but everybody still say it's boring, whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm in a music, art, literature. Ain't nothing boring about that if there's motherfuckers getting paid in the field. But I guess it's just me, right? You know. I was like, all right, bitch, I'm gonna do y'all hoes like Mike Jones. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hoes all on me. Bitch, get the fuck away from me before I slap your ass. You know what I'm saying? But but I'd be reckless as hell. But even more scary is when you see who your mother is. That's the scary part. Knowing that you're gonna have a fucked up road. Knowing that your journey is gonna be fucked up from here on out. That's the shit that fucks me up.
Let's call her Sarah, who had this extraordinary ability to read people. She could walk into a room and immediately sense who was genuine and who was performing, who was in pain and who was pretending to be fine, who could be trusted and who was hiding something. And you know what happened to her. She lost every close relationship she had. Not because she was cruel or judgmental, but simply because people felt exposed around her. They couldn't maintain their comfortable masks in her presence. Her friends would say things like, "You're too intense. You read too much into everything and you can't. Can't you just relax and have fun?" But she couldn't, because seeing clearly isn't something you can turn on and off like a light switch. It's like
And there was one point in my life, I think I was probably like 19. I was like, man, I do not want to live no more. Like all this awareness, all this shit is too fucking much. It's too unbearable. People are not going to change. God ain't real. Devil ain't real. No path. This music can only take me so far. They ain't really feeling this fucking music on some real shit unless I got some motherfucking drug money on some gatekeeping shit. Gotta pay off certain motherfuckers, or you gotta be just a no good motherfucker that I don't want to be. I'm already hustling and grinding. I ain't trying to fucking kill nobody. I'm tired. You know, tired of seeing all the lies and the bullshit. I was ready to go. And besides, I was coming out of a fucking relationship with a bitch that fucked me over. I was ready to go. But now, what really got me through was the music. I had to put my pain in my music. So I made a song, got it off my chest. But still, though, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm just saying it's just too much. I just want to have peace.
Asking someone who can hear to simply ignore sound. Once you've developed this capacity for perception, it's always there, always operating, always showing you what others prefer to keep hidden. And here's the second danger. When you see...
Yeah, when they... And plus what makes me even more mad, is the shit that they trying to hide from me. I can see, and they know I can see. But what makes me mad is they fucking lie in front of me about what they're fucking trying to hide. You know, and sometimes, the shit that they're trying to hide, they bring up the conversation about the topic. No one even brought it up but them. it's like it's weighing on them so much that they gotta talk about it and just lie or boost their ego or their pride or whatever. And it just pisses me the fuck off. Just be yourself. You know? Just be yourself. You know? But everybody puts on a mask. The world is a stage. Everybody got a stage to play. Everybody got a part to play. I want to destroy that fucking stage. Like real shit.
The truth of a situation, when you perceive what's really happening beneath the surface, you face a terrible choice. Do you speak or stay silent? If you speak, you risk being attacked.
I spoke and lost friends. Family called me crazy. This is why y'all my family. And it's like this, no matter what timeline I am in, whenever I'm, let's just say, going through, my friends always was there. You know what I'm saying? Without even knowing what the fuck going on in my life, just y'all being here right now is enough. Yesterday was rough. And I gotta get today started. Making some runs. Need some work. I can't keep waiting. They just cut my motherfucking stamps off. I'm still in training on this second job. I need money now. So I gotta go out there and try to make some shit fucking happen. On some real shit. I don't want to do what I want to do, but I gotta go fucking do it. But at the same time,
and I mean this quite literally, though the attack is usually psychological rather than physical. You'll be called negative, overly sensitive, a troublemaker. You'll be accused of creating problems that don't exist, of reading malice into innocent situations, of being unable to just let things be. But if you stay silent, if you swallow what you see and pretend not to notice, you begin to lose contact with yourself. Because every time you ignore your own perception, every time you accept someone else's version of reality when you know it's false, you're essentially telling yourself that your experience cannot be trusted. And over time, this creates a kind of split in your being. Part of you knows the truth, but another part must pretend not to know it.
And that shit right there, I could not let that happen. I think it started at the age of 11, where I just called my mama out for her lies. Shit, I've been smacked in my mouth more than 1,000 motherfucking times calling her motherfucking bitch ass out. Like, try waking up one night and you see your mother going into your fucking drawer stealing your fucking money that you just got from your granddad for an allowance. That shit wild. Not just mine, but mine and my little brothers. She's a motherfucker. But losing my friends for calling motherfuckers out because of BLM, that shit is almost hysterical. But this was a real cool friend. That's why it kind of hurt.
This is madness of a very quiet sort. I remember years ago sitting in a meeting where everyone was congratulating themselves on how well a particular project was going. And I could see clear as day that the whole thing was about to collapse. The signs were everywhere. The forced enthusiasm, the avoidance of certain topics, the way people's eyes would slide away when difficult questions arose. But when I gently suggested that perhaps we should examine some concerning patterns, I was met with hostility. Not argument, mind you, not reasoned disagreement, pure defensive hostility. And this brings us to the third danger, the most insidious one. When you see clearly and others don't want to see, they will often turn their anger on you. Not consciously, perhaps. They won't sit down and decide to make you the villain. But unconsciously, automatically, they will begin to treat you as the problem, as if your perception is creating the very difficulties you're merely observing.
Yep. Family and friends. And that's another reason why I fuck with Alan Watts. That nigga on point too. This is why he's part of my top 4. Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts, Brother Panic, Bobby Hemmett. And they all hit that core. You know. They say I agree with them. Everybody 100%. But best believe 90th percentile all day. Take your truth and you ride with it. And you apply it to your life. And you'll be all right. I haven't been looking at the comments. I apologize. I'm looking off in the goddamn stars. It said, y'all in the same boat. It said, I ain't gonna sell myself though. Hell no, I won't sell myself either. I was thinking about it, being a gigolo. But you know, I gotta hit the gym. I'm already got my weight down, you know. Give me good 4 to 6 months. I'll be solid. But you would think that's how they think of us when we see through the bullshit and we say something. And like, that's what I hate about my family. They like, shh, be quiet, don't say nothing, pray about it. Fuck all that. Somebody got to call this shit out, and some shit need to get done. You know? But don't nobody want to do shit. Let everybody do shit to the day they die, and the last words be like, they have a good heart. If a bitch had a good heart, I would have never went through the shit that I fucking went through. Let's just be real. That nigga had a good heart. No, nigga was shooting motherfuckers every day, and someone finally got his ass. Like, what the fuck? If anybody had a good heart, it was me. Yes, I'm a wild, radical, but rational revolutionary that talks shit about the government. But at the end of the day, I know what the work I put in. And I got a lot of witnesses to motherfucker prove it. And a motherfucker resume and paperwork to prove it. And pictures. But they'll look at me as I'm the problem. That's why it's cool right now. It's like I feel that right now, I feel things is looking up. But at the same time, it's still down because the government. Everything is up because I try to keep my spirits up on my own. But shit is down when it comes to looking at reality and the economy and all of our financial strife and economic strife. And the government shutting everything down, stopping people from motherfucking eating, creating this problem reaction solution scenario to fuck people up. Doing some shit to justify martial law. We live in extreme times right now, and people don't want to see it. But they say they go do nothing till the shit hit your doorstep. So now the shit hit your doorstep, they just cut your stamp. So what we gonna do? How we gonna ration our shit? We need to kill these evil motherfuckers, dog. On some real shit. I'm tired of being the moral compass of this fucking country, or black people in general being the moral compass of this country. It's time to get savage. It's time to ravage everything. That's how I feel personally. Because at the end of the day, I'll put all the spiritual shit aside and blow everything the fuck up. I don't give a fuck. Just give me my lady, and I'm good. We'll blow this bitch up together. And we'll motherfucking make mad passionate love while the world burn. Fuck everything. That's how I really feel. Fuck it all. But what I desire is peace. But that other side of the coin is fuck it all. Burn it all down. Because if I can't have it, nigga, then what the fuck? Why the fuck I can't have peace, but these evil motherfuckers get to just live free and good and do whatever the fuck they want? Not to mention these evil motherfuckers are trafficking kids, man. Like, let's not forget about that shit. Kill us through the food, through the water, through the air, through the disease, non-stop wars, and they trafficking kids. Man, fuck these evil sons of bitches. Why nobody mad? Tired. I ain't speaking this revolution shit for nothing. I know I'm about to go out here and do this shit. This ain't no geeking myself up. I'm already up. I just need a little bit more motherfucking money, manpower, and motherfucking resources. Or I could just motherfucking get with a beautiful chick and just disappear from the fucking map. Disappear from the fucking internet, from the fucking grid. I'm living my fucking life. Leave me the fuck alone. And then just one day y'all see the news of some shit explode. Like I said, I can't wait to leave YouTube. I love y'all to death. I love y'all to life, I mean. But shit. I'm going to Cali. Then we coming back here to get some fucking land. Can I speak it into existence? Can I travel the fucking world? If we are still able to. But let me get back to this, man. I'm veering off. God damn, so what the fuck is up with this phone? Here we go.
This is what I call the phenomenon of shooting the messenger. When someone points out that the emperor has no clothes, the crowd doesn't thank them for the truth. The crowd turns on them for disturbing the comfortable fiction everyone was enjoying. Your clarity becomes a threat.
I feel you, Crystal.
And threats must be eliminated or controlled. I've watched this pattern repeat itself countless times.
Yeah, it said threats got to be eliminated or controlled. And how family and friends use guilt trip, shaming tactics to make you agree with they bullshit. That was going on for a minute till I said, fuck that shit. Y'all niggas retarded. And I say it flat out. That's stupid. That's retarded. Why would you do that dumbass shit? Why would you, you know what I'm saying? They'd be like, what's so stupid about it? And then I go down the list of what's so stupid about it, which is factual and makes sense. And they'd be like, oh, you just hating. Fuck out of here. Go ahead and die, nigga. Go ahead and die. Go ahead. This is why when I go back to Bobby Hemmett, when Bobby Hemmett was like, nigga, fuck trying to unite with motherfuckers. They ain't trying to unite. They love their comfort. You know what I'm saying? So Bobby Hemmett go with this term, let the dead die. And then when shit start blowing up, they run like chickens with their head cut off. That's on them. They end up in a crossfire. That's on them. They didn't listen to you, Kane. They didn't listen to you, Hurricane. Fuck them. Like Crystal said, all gotta go. And we'll be making love through the explosions. We'll be safe though, but everybody else got to fucking go. I can't forget about Vonta. You on this ship too, baby. Fuck the bullshit. But real shit is either give me my ladies and land, or y'all gotta fucking go. like real shit, man. Mind you, that motherfuckers came to this land and murdered, raped, and pillaged. I can't say let's take this bitch back from the motherfuckers that murdered, raped, and pillaged. That wasn't us. But y'all keeping their shit going. Yeah, my ass. Blam. Headshot. Get off my fucking land, you pieces of shit. How about that?
The person who sees clearly gets labeled. They're too negative. They're creating drama. They're unstable.
Yep. That's me. Revolutionary. But no one asked me. No one fucking asked me. Why do I feel the way I fucking feel? No one. But me yelling and screaming how I feel, I'm still labeled a threat. I'm still labeled crazy. I'm still labeled unstable, mental. Somebody just made a chess move. Oh, somebody else that just made another chess move. I'm going against like 4 different people on chess.com, and you can hear that little troop. Yeah, you probably heard a couple of sounds like that was people making their chess move. But shouts out to everybody.
Need to lighten up. They're paranoid. Notice how all these labels have one thing in common. They all suggest that the problem lies in the perceiver, not in what's being perceived. It's a brilliant defensive maneuver, really. If we can convince you that your perception is flawed, we never have to look at what you're perceiving.
Right.
But here's what...
And they never have to look at themselves. Like my mama, or my stupid ass brother, or my dumb ass cousin, or any other friend or family member, or any other lover I had. It keeps them from changing who they are and what the fuck they need to do in their life. To the point where my family members was like, man, I ain't saying nothing to her no more. Feel sorry for the kids. I hope they be all right. To the point where family gave up, because you can't talk to someone that's stupid, selfish, and stubborn. Drugs is just hobby, recreational use. But if your internal is stupid, selfish, and stubborn, like, and there's no talking to you. This is why my dad wasn't around. No one wants to be around a person that ain't gonna listen to reason and logic. Stupid, selfish, and stubborn, and you on fucking crack. Oh yeah, I'm out. I value my mental health. But it is what it is. That's why I fuck with Alan Watts.
Nobody tells you. The fourth danger is perhaps the most devastating of all. When you're constantly absorbing the emotional states and hidden truths of everyone around you, when you're perpetually picking up on what's unspoken and unfelt, you begin to lose track of what actually belongs to you. Your own feelings become mixed up with everyone else's. You walk into a room feeling perfectly fine and leave feeling inexplicably anxious or sad or angry. And you have no idea if these feelings are yours or if you've simply absorbed them from the environment like a sponge soaking up water. This is
Yeah. So I catch that shit quick. If I go to a place and I feel some shit, I'm in and I'm out. I do not want to stay long. I don't want this motherfucking weird ass energy on me. I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Then later on, when I got deep and heavy in meditation and learned how to put a protective aura on me, I could walk any motherfucker where undetected, but I still feel the fucking energy. But as my aura be on me, it be like a shitload of eyes on me. Like I'm being watched by agents. That's the scary feeling about the whole thing. When you walk with your aura on, especially if you got a beautiful, lovely lady with you and her aura on, y'all both walk in that room, it's all eyes on you that time. But by yourself, you get a lot of eyes, but it's the feeling of goddamn, they can see it. They can see that I see through them, or these motherfuckers know. Like, I don't know what get triggered, but it reminds me of They Live in the Matrix. These motherfuckers know. People may call me crazy, man, but shit, I'm just going by what I observe and see. And they say observe, adapt, and overcome. Go in, get the fuck out. Go in, get your shit, get the fuck out. You got no time to talk to nobody. Some people try to come up to you, and then like you got to be careful. You know, like if it's that wrong type of motherfucking energy that's coming towards you, you try to get the fuck away quick. I don't give a fuck if you gotta run. You're like, why you running? Bitch, I'm going to the bathroom with the bathroom at.
Exhausting beyond measure. Imagine never quite knowing which thoughts are your own, never being certain whether the emotion you're feeling belongs to you or to the person sitting next to you. It's like trying to hear your own voice in a room full of people all talking at once. Eventually, you might forget what your voice even sounds like. I've spoken with people who describe this experience, and they often say the same thing. I feel like I'm disappearing, like there's less and less of me and more of everyone else. And this isn't poetry. This is a real psychological danger. When the boundaries between self and other become too permeable, when you're taking in too much without adequate protection, you can actually lose contact with your own center, your own identity. Now you might be thinking, well, this all sounds rather grim. Is there no hope for those who see clearly? And here's where we come to something interesting. Because the danger I'm describing is only dangerous when it's unconscious, when you don't understand what's happening to you, when you think you're going mad or that something is wrong with you. But once you understand the game, once you see that real clarity is not a flaw, but a particular kind of awareness, everything changes. Not because the seeing stops, but because your relationship to it transforms. You begin to realize that you're not required to save everyone from their unconsciousness. You're not obligated to point out every hidden truth or fix every unacknowledged problem. You see, the truly dangerous thing isn't the seeing itself. It's the compulsion to do something about what you see. The belief that if you perceive a problem, you must solve it. If you sense someone's pain, you must heal it. If you notice a group's dysfunction, you must correct it. This is where the real trouble begins. Because you're essentially taking responsibility for things that aren't yours to fix. Let me give you an image. Imagine.
Let me give you an image. My mama chose death over fucking life. That's an image. You chose an abando for my brother over a lovely home with lights and gas and water that I had available. What the fuck? Trying to save my fucking mom. Would you rather die? Trying to help out friends. Try to help a couple lovers. Just for them to do their own thing and fuck their lives up. The chick that fucked me over that like when I left at 17. Seen her recently. And let's just say it's bad. Real bad. Like, god damn, you out here. It's fucked up. With a child. It's fucked up. And I told her, because I'm always compelled to be honest. And I was like, if you would have never fucked me over, you would have never been through this. Now you got a kid out here in the fucking streets. What the fuck? Like, glad it ain't mine, because I would have been pissed. I would have been like, well, we know what that means. I got to take the kid. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad. Because I still wish the best for these people, knowing where their future is going to take them. Because that's the other thing that's scary. When you know their future outcome. It just hurts. It fucking hurts. So you wonder why I just be like, leave me the fuck alone, come near me, I will blow your fucking head off. I tried to help. Even told my little brother, I'm like, years before the incident with my mom being fucked up with the abandon, I told my little brother, I'm like, nigga, we need to put our money together, get our mom and our sister a house. Then flip that bread, get another house. By this point right now, man, we'll be picking up like 3 G's a piece. But nah, you want to stay in the street, smoke, drink, fuck around, knowing growing up, all we heard is you stay out there in the street, you end up dead or in jail or in prison. Then you learn the hard way. They got to choose their own fucking destiny. They want to be fuck ups, let them be fuck ups. Gotta let the dead lock the dead. Whether it's a family, friend, or lover. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. But see, Crystal, I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Shit. See, baby, we got a lot in common. Me and you against the world, baby.
Imagine you're walking by a river and you notice the water is muddy. You can see this clearly. Everyone else passing by seems not to notice or not to care. Now you have a choice. You can jump into the river and try to clear it with your hands, stirring it up more in your efforts, exhausting yourself in an impossible task. Or you can simply observe that the water is muddy, perhaps make a note that it might be wise to wait before drinking from it, and continue on your way. The water will clear itself when the conditions are right. Your frantic stirring won't help. In fact, it will make things worse. This is the wisdom that must accompany clear seeing. The understanding that not everything you perceive requires your intervention. But here's the paradox.
Yeah, here's the paradox. If you don't try to stop it, like for example, trying to stop my mama from being a stupid ass, or stopping my brother from going out to go get himself locked up, the paradox is they look at you like you ain't shit for trying to help. Like, dog. That's my paradox. So it's like, why help people in general? Why help people, like, period? If I'm just going to get told the fuck off. And another thing, when it comes to the fucking government, some people are getting arrested for helping the homeless. What type of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? You can't be a fucking good person in the world. Like like I gotta be fucked up. I gotta do fucked up shit to people to get by. I gotta step on people to get to the top. I find that to be bullshit. And there are families that do that against each other, man. But like what I love about other cultures and other races, like some of them value. I mean, like not some, most value family. Watched a family full of Mexicans, 7 to 8 people in one apartment, 1 bedroom apartment. So, like, who got the bedroom? Mama got the bedroom. Everybody else in the fucking living room. We're all working together. All the oldest people getting jobs. They stack up, like help everybody get a place. Stack up, everybody start a business, and they doing shit from a 1 bedroom apartment building. I mean, 1 bedroom apartment. But our culture, we can't even motherfucking work together as a fucking family, but yet call each other family, but not act like it. Seeing that shit hurts. Everybody around me fake.
Once you stop trying to fix everything you see, once you relax into simply being aware without the compulsion to change or control, your perception often becomes even clearer. And more than that, people begin to feel safer around you. Because you're no longer unconsciously demanding that they see what you see or change to accommodate your awareness. Think of it like this. When you meet someone who sees you clearly, but doesn't need you to be different, who perceives your struggles without trying to rescue you, who understands your fears without requiring you to face them on their schedule, how does that feel? It feels like freedom, doesn't it? Like you can finally breathe. This is what clear seeing can become when it's integrated properly. Not a weapon you use against others' unconsciousness, but a gift you offer through your presence. You see them completely, and in that seeing, you allow them to be exactly as they are. This doesn't mean you approve of everything or pretend problems don't exist. It means you've stopped making their unconsciousness your personal project. I want to be very clear about something. I'm not suggesting you become cold or indifferent. I'm not proposing that you stop caring about people or turn away from genuine suffering. What I'm suggesting is that there's a difference between compassionate awareness and compulsive fixing, between seeing clearly and making yourself responsible for what you see. The danger of seeing what others don't lies not in the perception itself, but in what you do with it. If you use it to separate yourself, to feel superior, to justify your isolation, then yes, it becomes dangerous. If you use it to attack others for their blindness, to shame them for not seeing, to punish them for their unconsciousness, then yes, it destroys relationships and leaves you alone. But if you can hold your clarity lightly, if you can see without grasping, perceive without controlling, understand without demanding, then you're...
Yep, I did that. And motherfuckers still fucking died stupid. No one said shit. Just let the game keep going. Don't intervene. Pray about it. Don't say nothing. You know. God damn.
Awareness becomes something entirely different. It becomes a space in which others can gradually wake up at their own pace, in their own time, without being forced or pushed or judged. Here's what I've learned after many years of watching people with this capacity for clear seeing. The ones who suffer most are not the ones who see the most. They're the ones who haven't learned to protect themselves while C. They're the ones who absorb everything without filtration, who take on every burden they perceive, who exhaust themselves trying to wake up a world that isn't ready to wake up. The ones who thrive, who manage to use their perception without being destroyed by it, they've learned something crucial. They've learned to be in the world but not of it. They can see clearly without being consumed by what they see. They can perceive deeply without losing themselves in others' experiences. They maintain what you might call a conscious distance, not the distance of cold withdrawal, but the distance of healthy boundaries. And how does one learn this? Well, it starts with spending time alone. Real time, not just physical solitude, but psychological solitude. Time where you're not taking in anyone else's emotions or thoughts or problems. Time where you can settle, like that muddy water we talked about, until you can see clearly which feelings are actually yours and which ones you've been carrying for others. It continues with learning to trust your perception without being controlled by it. Yes, you see that your friend's marriage is in trouble. Yes, you sense that your colleague is deeply unhappy. Yes, you feel the dysfunction in your family system. All of this may be absolutely true, but the question is not whether you see it correctly. The question is what you're going to do with this information. And sometimes, often actually, the wisest thing to do is nothing at all except hold the space for truth to eventually emerge on its own. This doesn't make you
Yep, and when the truth emerges, emerge into stupid, selfish, and stubborn and death. No one says nothing. No one does nothing. I felt me not doing nothing will be like I'm a scared bitch that don't want to motherfucking protect his family from future turmoil. I had to say and try to do something. Even if it was going to end in fucking rejection. But at least I can go on my deathbed with no shame, guilt, and fucking regret. But there is a deep pause, melancholy that I know it might not ever go away. And I can live with that. Knowing that my mama was stupid, selfish, and stubborn, and my brother want to be the echo. And I got to take care of my sister, which is handicapped. My oldest sister that took care of me when I was young. It's only right to return the favor and take care of her. Another crazy part about this whole thing is when the future comes, when I do leave, and I am going to leave, my sister, she's going to have to be protected here because she's comfortable. She's not going to want to travel with me because I know I'm going to be traveling. Now, I bet you're wondering, yes, your sister may be handicapped, but she's grown. Here's the kicker, everybody. My sister is a fucking child in a grown person's body. Decision-making skills, comprehension skills, not too bright. When it comes to, let's just say, shit to take care of households or like anything concerning, any paperwork, she's intimidated. What I'm saying is she can't even fucking take care of her fucking self. Before the stroke, she was out there in the street. I didn't know where she was at. But she was always safe. And she got another side of her family on her daddy's side and shit. But never had a place of her own. But then when the stroke happened, everybody from her daddy's side and to my mama herself took advantage of my sister. It's now after my mom passed last year, my sister finally got freedom, and I made sure that I took her out of the debt that my mama put her in. Took like 4 months for that to motherfucking clear up. Took her out of debt with the energy bill. That's cool. I don't have shit. But I am trying. That's all I can do. But when it's time to leave and go to California or go to the UK or go to the Philippines, I just hope she'll be all right. But I gotta put somebody in place to protect her. Like at least come over every day and check on her, make breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, or I'm gonna have to make plans on doing shit like this. I'll be gone majority of the time, but come back maybe like the last week and a half at the end of each month. Chill with my sister, pay the rent, and then get back on the flight, or or go back on the Greyhound bus. You know what I'm saying? So when the future come, that's the bridge that I gotta cross. Cause I already know I'm dipping. I already know I'm gone. I see Cali Crystal in my sights right now. You know what I'm saying? I see the UK on the horizon. I see I was coming back up here, grabbing some land and making it happen. You know what I'm saying? You know. Oh shit, let's get back to it. Um, take care of that brother and the PI. Oh, all right. I know I'm seeing that right. Okay, cool.
This doesn't make you passive or uncaring. It makes you wise because you understand that people change
Right.
when they're ready to change, not when you need them to change. Problems get solved when the conditions are right, not when you've decided it's time for them to be solved.
Yeah. But in my case, the problem never got solved. Even when I try to solve the problem myself, even when I try to, I'm talking about, even when I try to go beyond the call of duty and go ahead of the game and try to motherfucking make shit cool, it was like it was designed for my life to be fucked all the way to the end. My mama couldn't change. I'm trying to go ahead of the game, talk to different people, make phone calls to motherfucking people, put some shit in place. And my mom just renege on every fucking thing. I'm like, it's like popping up with a 25,000 or $50,000 check, and she just rip it up. Like, what the fuck? You don't understand what the fuck I just motherfucker had to go through to motherfucker make this shit happen. And okay, that shit hurts. Yep. Like you say, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, 24/7. And the thing about it is, I don't know nobody that's gonna do it. I'm afraid that one day she gonna motherfucking not know that some shit is in the oven and she gonna fucking burn the fuck up. Because like for years, I used to, I mean, like, like it's like they nose blind to shit. Like, how the fuck can y'all be nose blind? How can y'all not smell gas? Like sometimes come over there and be like, what the fuck? Y'all don't smell that gas? Y'all don't smell it? Like, no, we don't smell that. What the fuck you mean don't smell nothing? What the fuck happened? Because back in the day, a motherfucker used to have strong senses. Now y'all just get old. You get motherfucker old and dumb now. I don't get it. It just. I was mad because there was no more common sense. There was no more comprehension skills. I'm like, that motherfucker's supposed to be old. Like not. Yeah. Oh my. That's supposed to be smart because you're old enough to know what the fuck. Man, fuck it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Fuck.
And consciousness develops at its own pace, which is almost never as fast as you'd like.
Yeah, it's never as fast as I like. My mama fucking died on her own fucking stupidity. So basically, she was never going to fucking learn, never going to fucking know it. We got to fucking deal with the pain and trauma for the rest of our fucking lives. Thank you. Bullshit. And it's another reason why, motherfucker, I said fuck God, because all my prayers was never answered. All the way to the very end. Just like how motherfuckers go to the end believing in Jesus. Never showed up. And what's crazy is if a motherfucker was religious, if a motherfucker was truly religious, then I would have had the mindset like this. I prayed all my life, but the devil had my mama. God, you still ain't shit because you couldn't take the devil's spirits or demons off my mom. I would have still left Christianity regardless. And it would have been with sheer anger, just like it was before. Because I'm conscious enough to motherfucking see now. What a waste of fucking time, money, energy, faith. It hurts. And I want to just burn everything to the fucking ground. Oh no, everything was fucking great. She just wanted to be a rebellious fucking bitch. My grandma was phenomenal. Like real shit. I understand my grandma could have been a little too strict with her religion, but growing up, that was really all she was about, was just religion. And she wasn't going every day because like she worked, I forgot what she worked, but like she worked until her retirement. I forgot what she worked. I think she worked at the Opera House. Yeah, I think it was the Opera House. And she did her thing on Sundays at the church. That was it. Had everything. No, and then got older. She hopped into the family business. The family business, because you know what the family business mean. We ain't gonna go into detail. She hopped in that shit. Started smoking crack. So fuck the bullshit. You wanted to be rebellious, do whatever the fuck you want. That's the only logical explanation. The logical explanation. because real shit, if my grandma was fucked up, the family would be treating her like they did my mom. It's like my mom was the only person in the family that's stupid, selfish, and fucking stubborn that would choose herself over her fucking kids. That would really just be place to place, house to house, shelter to shelter, abando to abando, all the days of her fucking life. Never have a place to fucking call home. Everybody else in the family can get it, in spite all their habits and all the shit that they did on their own time. Don't get me wrong. There was some shit, man, but it wasn't to the point where, like, it's like, let's forget about the goddamn kids. And I have friends that parents that was on that same shit, but they managed to still keep a roof over their fucking head and take care of their goddamn kids. What the fuck was my mama thinking? You can still have fun, but make sure you keep the rent paid and motherfucking make sure we have good clothes and shoes and like whatever like the fuck we need. And like, man, fuck it. But this builds character. This makes you strong. No, it makes me hate God and humanity. Let's be honest. Let me keep it a fucking bean. This makes me hate God and humanity. And then when you find out God ain't real, it makes you even more mad. Because now you wasted time, money, energy. And then you try to go on with somebody else and a female tell you, I can't be with you. You're a good man and all, but I can't be with you because you're not a fucking Christian.
So here we are at the heart of it. The danger of seeing what others don't is real. It can isolate you, exhaust you, turn you into a target for others' defensive anger, and cause you to lose contact with your own center. But it doesn't have to. Not if you learn to carry your awareness consciously. Not if you develop the strength to see without the compulsion to fix. Not if you can remain true to your perception while allowing others to remain true to their own process of waking up. The gift and the curse are the same thing. The question is only whether you'll learn to handle the gift with enough wisdom that it doesn't become a curse. Whether you'll develop the patience and the boundaries and the self-knowledge necessary to be clear without being crushed by your own clarity. And perhaps most importantly, whether you'll find others who can see as you see. Because they exist, you know. Other people who live in this odd space of perceiving more than most, of sensing what's hidden, of knowing what's unspoken. When you find these people, when you can finally be fully seen by someone who doesn't need you to be less perceptive, to feel comfortable, that's when the danger begins to transform into something beautiful. Because you realize you're not alone, after all. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're simply awake in a world that mostly sleeps. And there are others who are awake too, and together, without force or pressure or urgency, you can hold space for consciousness to gradually spread, like dawn breaking slowly over a sleeping city. This is the hope within the danger, that your clear seeing, when held wisely, becomes not a burden you carry alone, but a light you offer to others, gently, patiently, allowing them to approach it when they're ready, if they're ever ready. And if they never are, well, that's their right. Your job isn't to wait.
Shit. And that's, yeah, if they're never ready, I have to deal with pain and trauma for the rest of my days. A parent's job is to make sure the child is safe, secure, protected, and most importantly, guided. And another thing, to make sure that the child becomes better than the parent. You know, the goal is to make you greater. That's why I'm just so proud of my daughter. She's about to Be 18, go to Juilliard, do a whole bunch of other stuff. And I said, Dad'll be here. You know, by the time you're done doing what you're doing, you're ready to get the fuck away. You will have some land in your own space to get the hell away so you can chill and be at peace. I need to get all this shit. That's what I'm striving for. Do it all for her. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me working hard because I know my daughter's doing her thing in school, you know what I'm saying? But later on in the future, she's gonna need me and I'm gonna need to be ready. You know, be like, ta-da, here you go, baby. Got a house on some land, all yours. You know. Whatever guidance you need, I'm there.
Wake them up. Your job is simply to remain awake yourself, to keep seeing clearly while learning to live peacefully with what you see. The danger is real, but so is the possibility. The possibility that you learn to be conscious without being consumed, that you'll see deeply without drowning in what you perceived, that you'll carry your awareness as a gift rather than a curse. And that, my friends, that is the art of living with eyes wide open in a world that prefers to keep them closed.
Yep. He's right. Because that was one of those moments that you just be like, I just gotta let the motherfucker just be a fuck up. There was many nights I just been in tears or in dark, or in deep meditation, like over just trying to clear my head of the fact of what Alan Watts just said. That you have to accept the fact that these motherfuckers just ain't gonna be shit. Your help ain't nothing. Let it go. Let them go. You gotta let it go. You gotta observe from a distance. You gotta just, what's the solution to getting over that trauma? Most importantly, what's the solution to getting over melancholy? Because that's the real true bitch. It's melancholy with me. And I really hate that feeling. I really do. Yeah, yeah, little round, yo. But yeah, I remember being in that phase too, that I had to put myself in reality, which made me even more mad. It's just a constant battle with self and still try not to lose yourself in helping others. And then you realize most people don't want help, they just want attention. That was the real hurtful shit too. Like, you put yourself in danger, put your kids through danger over attention. That shit hurts. But that was Alan Watts. Where we at? We at 2:44. I kind of want to play another one, man, but I don't know if my phone gonna hold it. But yeah, yeah, Crystal, you said look up a chick named Patrice L. Stewart. About to go to the first video I see.
Wonder how my service is out here.
I think I'm straight.
We shall see if we start to get some people coming in the room. Then I'll know how my service is out here.
Real talk, I'm not really feeling sleep. I'm not feeling it. But I would love to check. I wanted to check out what you want to see. I wish I was with you right now. That'd be awesome. Okay, should I fast forward it? She's not talking. Hold on. I'm gonna go a little. I'm gonna just.
So, I got my car kind of double parked here to make it seem like I'm looking for some stuff in my trunk. So I'm over here by the Quantum, which is this area that they are building this new tech center and infrastructure. All right. This is going to affect a lot of people in our community with this Quantum being here. And so a lot of things that's happening in Chicago, people don't understand that a lot of this stuff starts with these type of projects.
This is a video called This Is Our Land. It was done 5 days ago. I just clicked on the other phone. What was crazy is this. When I looked at it, wait a minute. No. I think I got some shit mixed up. No, never mind. No, damn, what the fuck I was about to say? Damn. Oh, I was about to mix up some shit. Never mind. But once I saw like This Is My Land, I thought about the Keys to the Land, you know, the song I made. So I was like, fuck it, let me click on this.
Right, these type of things that are going on, why they are so concerned with South Shore and having some of the things over here, like getting
real shit. I'm not tired. I'm not physically tired. I'm more mentally tired, if I could say that. I kind of just kind of want to just to, you know, just play some, I guess. I'm real talk, Crystal. I'm up. I'm just going with the flow until this phone tell me I ran out of data. And plus I got nothing else to do. But yeah, but I kind of just also wanted to let people know about Earl, Nightingale, and Alan Watts, just in case they didn't know. And you know, like this is just an added extra, you know, like for you, Crystal, because you told me to look it up, because I know you remember you said it in the chat, and I remember writing it down. And then when I finally typed it in, I saw you know, the first video. I was like, This Is Our Land. I was like, all right, Keys to the Land was my song. Let me see what she's talking about until my phone died. Yeah, my mind was working nonstop. But, you know, like it just really, you know, the incident with the HHN, man, when I got cut off, you know, like that was part of it. And then thinking about work, thinking about the motherfucker what happened with the stamps. How I'm gonna ration this food. How I'm gonna ration, like the little money I get. I try to talk to my first job, like she's a little slow on that. So this is why I said I gotta go out in the morning and try to make some shit happen. But real talk, I already said what I truly desire. If I can't have a revolution, then I just, let me just beautiful woman on some land living in peace. But let me get back to this. I'm just rambling.
The land and the property, because it's literally coach buses of white men, Asian men, Jewish men, Indian men getting off and walking up our blocks and neighborhoods, because what they are doing, they are looking at the properties. They are looking at the properties over here in South Shore. South Shore is the last black community that sits on the water, okay? And so I am up here off of 87th and the drive. They just did the drive. Now, people that live in Chicago, we knew that when they did this drive, I knew that something was coming because they've never done the drive. They've never extended Lakeshore Drive. They've never done the drive. They've never did any work to it over here. This area has always been empty. But I am here standing on the site. This is where they are building this quantum at. This is where everything is going to be housed. They have a whole new program. They have a whole new system. They have a whole new layout. They have a whole community that they're getting ready to build. They're getting ready to put this tech center here. They're getting ready to put like 350 houses and apartments here, restaurants. They're basically about to build up a mini Navy pier over here on the east side, right? And what I want a lot of people who look like me to understand is you all have to learn and pay attention to what is happening and going on in your communities around you. When they start building up, when they start buying up property, when they start boarding up buildings and things like that, you have to pay attention to that. You have to look and see what is going on in your neighborhood, in your community, and in your area, right? You have to be able to see and pay attention to that. I have lived in South Shore my entire life. I left and moved to the suburbs for maybe 10 years, and then I came back to the city because I bought 2 properties in South Shore because I grew up in South Shore. And this is why I'm telling y'all not to sell y'all grandma's house. This is why I'm telling y'all not to be selling off y'all family land and property, because they know the value of this property over here. They know they're about to build this area up, and they over here offering y'all $50,000, $100,000 for y'all grandma's house, and y'all are selling them. Y'all are selling them off because you're not paying attention to what they're getting ready to do. South Shore will not be black. I guarantee you that. If black people don't pay attention and understand what's going on, even Hispanics have bought property and bought more land. We're the ones that are not paying attention to what's happening and what's going on. They have had several vehicles ride past my truck while I've been sitting out here. Y'all don't pay attention. And what I am not about to keep doing is saying the same shit and talking to Chicago over and over and over again about the same stuff that is happening. So I got to come online and show y'all proof and come pull up to certain places and areas so y'all understand what's happening and what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Y'all not understanding. So when at the end of the day, this neighborhood and when this community, all of y'all that's on here, let me start blocking some of y'all. Because these is weak dick niggas. That's from these fake pages and channels that don't want you to know nothing. Hey, B, every time I come outside, bees come around me. Baby, I know my glow. I know I'm gifted. I know who I am. Let me put all of y'all in timeout, then I'll come back and block you later on. Let me know if I need to block anybody else. Because what I'm not going to do is go back and forth with no weak dick niggas on the internet. And we have white fatigue. That black fatigue is not even a real thing. Y'all really need to stop with that. We got white fatigue. Go tell your ancestors and your grandmama to tell you what they did. Damn. Go tell your ancestors and your grandmamas and them to tell you how they was eating my ancestors. Damn. All right. How they was raping them and eating them and hanging them from trees. Get the fuck out of here with that whack ass black fatigue. And anybody that's black that even repeats that shit, your ass is a damn coon too. Cause y'all ridiculous. Be allowing these people to put labels on you when you don't know your history and what this country did to you and your people. Baby, bye. Get back to it. I am standing here on the land.
So that me on her.
I'm standing here on the land that is not, and I'm gonna be honest, this land has been empty. This land had not been used, right? This land had not been used, but what I'm saying is the land is now being built up. So all of the areas over here, all of the houses, all of the property over here in South Shore, guess who's now looking at it? Guess who is now interested in buying it? And guess who is actually buying it? Because several of you all are selling your grandma's house for pennies when in a couple of years, these properties going to be worth $400,000, $500,000, $1 million over here. That's why I'm buying more land and property in South Shore. I'm not selling my family house. I'm not selling my other property. I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold on forever. And that's what y'all have to understand. You cannot get the quick dollar. I'm not tripping that they build in this area, but I am kind of, because y'all don't understand what the quantum is and what it's going to do in the long run. In the long run, it's going to affect our people. In the long run, it's going to affect our communities. It's going to affect the quality of the air. It's going to affect the soil. If you go look,
and it's going to affect your goddamn energy bill with all these goddamn tech and data centers. Crystal, thank you for putting me up on her. I am sub like a motherfucker. I love her fire. That is fucking awesome. Hell yeah. Hey, yeah, bitch, tell your ancestors what the fuck they did. They ate and motherfucking murder, rape, and pillage our family. Get the fuck out of here. I fucks with her. That's what's up. That's what's up. What we at? 2 more blunts left? Shit. I gotta ration that. But thanks again, Chris. So that was, this is awesome. This is 55 fucking minutes.
look on TikTok. It's a white family who has been putting the information out there about what has happened in LA with Meta and Meta's tech facility. Y'all got to understand it. So if you live in Chicago, I want you to search the Quantum, Quantum, and start learning about it and start understanding what it is and how it's going to affect you in the long run. Because right here, they are building. This is where they broke ground at. This is where they broke ground at. This is where they broke ground at. This is where Mayor Brandon and your aldermen and your Congress, all your people that work for government, this is where they broke ground at. So they okay with selling off the land. They're okay with not allowing you to buy certain city lots. The city lots is open right now for shop block. And now they have on there where you got to apply for a city lot. Then when you apply, they tell you the city lot not available.
Yeah. The only reason why I kind of did it because I would have stopped the live and recorded it on my other phone on the voice recorder. But I was like, since I was up and I didn't feel like doing it, I guess. But yeah, you're right. But she going in though. But
available. Let me tell you something. Don't let them people get on there and tell you that them lots not available. If they got them on the website, then they supposed to be available. Don't let them tell you that those lots are not available. You go on Shop Block Builder right now. It's lots available in the city of Chicago that you can buy. If they
yeah, I wanted to say all that. There's lots you could buy. Like when I was a parking attendant, I was thinking the same shit. All I gotta do is get a parking lot down here next to a venue and just cash out. Nobody want to listen to me. I'm trying to put money together. And like going back to what she said, this is why I fuck with her. I think it would put me up on her because she kept on talking about property. And if you heard my story, I was trying to tell my little brother, like, yo, nigga, let's get some property, you know what I'm saying? Hook mama and our sister up, bam, then we use that money, keep on flipping. And by now we be getting down there 3 G's or more. You know what I'm saying? So, but motherfuckers look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what the fuck? Is this the name of the game? Don't you want generational wealth? Or no, you want to be out in the street making a quick dollar? Risking getting your head blown off by your fucking rifle or getting arrested. But, yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it right here. We'll leave it right here for now. And we'll get up out of here. It's, what time is it? It's 6:02. I'm not tired at all, but Shit. Like I've been on for a minute. Yes. It's almost 3 hours. She was breaking it down how to get the real estate. He said, don't let me inconvenience you. You know. How to. That's what's up. Real talk. I'm not even in the mood. I haven't even played the game since I was online. It's like once I'm in the zone with my music or with these podcasts, I don't even touch the system. I'm talking about like I'm talking about like I don't touch it like unless I'm talking like I'm like done with everything. But like now, like I just been so busy. And plus, um, and plus the main TV, that my sister got that big ass fucking HD is acting up. So I threw my sister my TV. So like I don't really got no TV in my room. You know, you know, because I don't watch TV anyway. I just play the game on it. But like I have to put an antenna up, so she can watch her programs and shit. Cause like she watch wrestling and shit. So I was like, all right, to make sure, I set it up for her wrestling. And plus it's good I don't got a TV in here because the energy is like different. Like you don't got that, for some reason. Something about the white noise or some shit on the TV or some shit like that. They say I forgot what the fuck I was reading. They say if you cover up the TV or some shit, you don't have to worry about something. What the fuck was I looking up? Man, I was looking up some wild shit. I was looking some wild shit about the Black Mirror. Like real shit. I don't know what the fuck it was, but yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I just might just like I might just kick back, just buy some shit, but I kind of want to let this play.
Tell you that lot is not available, but they have it on the website. Stand on business. Make several calls. Keep emailing about it. Let them know you can't have a property online and then say it's not available when I inquire about it. How it's not available? See, them the games that they play. So you can be buying city lots right now for a little bit of nothing. But guess who they allowing to buy these lots? Guess who they allowing? The developers. And what y'all don't know is the aldermen just passed the ordinance at City Hall. And this is why I said y'all really don't know shit when you don't go down to City Hall. When you're not watching how your aldermen and your mayor are passing different ordinances every single week. So they just passed the ordinance within the last 2 weeks that all aldermen have control of who can develop in a neighborhood. Block and delete. Block and delete. Every time I come outside, bees come around me. Every single time I come outside, bees come around me. Ain't no reason for no bee to be over here by my car. Every single time I step outside, bees come around me. I know my light. I know my voice. I'm not like the rest of y'all. Anybody that don't get what I'm saying, you ain't supposed to get what I'm saying because you ain't chosen. You ain't me. I'm a different type of being around here. I was put on this land, put on this earth for a whole different reason than the average person that you are. You're average. I'm not. So while you on here running your mouth, don't talk to me because you're average. You're not chosen. I'm chosen. Every time I come outside, bees, it's a bee right here. They're going to be right here. Look at them. Ain't no reason for this bee to be in my car. No reason. No reason.
Me, I'll be screaming like a bitch. I'll be trying to kill that motherfucking bee. I'm like, oh, look. You're supposed to be looking for motherfucking honey to get back to your motherfucking queen. Why the fuck are you by me? Like, I'm different. I ran it like a bitch. Nah, she ain't killing. She just talking shit. Real shit. I don't like bees. I know motherfuckers that's allergic. I watch niggas get fucked up. I got traumatic experiences, and I have every right to be afraid. But basically, getting the gist about what she's talking about Basically, pay attention to what's going on in your neighborhood, and I guess take back your land. And I know she got like 55 minutes of what she about to talk about. I know she probably got to cover some shit, but yeah. But eventually, that phone gonna run out of data. Well, that's the bullshit of phone anyway. But still though, let me be in right. But shit. Any thoughts? Yeah, I just kind of wanted to do this just to, just to get the Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts out the way, and real shit. I think I did this, also for myself. Like so I can kick back and, like get my mind right. you know, you know, you know, you know. Like that's what I really think. I think I did it for me. Yeah, therapy. Like if I'm saying that word right, I think that's say therapy. Let me get closer. Yeah, that's say therapy. All right, cool. I had to put my glasses on. But yeah, you gotta get a chance. Listen to Alan Watts, Earl Nightingale. Great, great lectures. Bobby Hemming, Brother Panic. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna, I know some of Phil Valentine's work, but like it depends on like what you're looking up because he got different fields of study. So um who else? Shit, Francis Cress Wilson. Who else? Some good ones. Sister Myra. Um, I think a person named Isis Wisdom. Brother Yosef. It's a lot of great things to listen to out there. Oh yeah, we listen to Putin too. Love you too, Crystal. Shouts out to Crystal. Shouts out to everybody coming through the listen in. We covered Alan Watts, Earl Nightingale. Putin was calling out the United States and all some other and the elites and shit. And I think we talked briefly about um Albert Pike and the fucking system, with the Peter Griffin little shit. And plus, I think that's pretty cool since motherfuckers ain't gonna listen. Maybe if they see and hear Peter Griffin tell you the truth, maybe a motherfucker listen. So I'm like, it's crazy that a motherfucker got to resort to memes and motherfucking cartoon voiceovers to tell you the goddamn truth because motherfucker don't want to listen to a real actual human person that tells them the truth. It's fucking crazy. But do whatever y'all need to do to get that truth out. This is like that guy, I think Dr. Fuller, that Fuller guy. Oh yeah, his cartoons be the shit. But there's another guy named Shahid Boseman. That man be going in also. So I'm like, yo, there's a lot of people that I would kick back and listen to and try to, you know, grab my truth, apply it to my life and keep it rolling. Like this is what I do outside of the music, outside of the art, outside of the literature, outside of the podcast, and just sit there and just listen to some good shit, and like try to maintain balance. One side of the coin, I just want just Just give me my woman and some peace on some land. The other part of me just want to burn everything to the fucking ground. The best. What's the best decision? Can I have both? Like, but shouts out to Crystal that's cool from California. You know what I'm saying? California love all day. That's my Cali Crystal right there. If it's 613, it's 313 over there. That's 313. That's my area code, Detroit, baby. So shouts out to everybody else coming through. Who else is in here? I don't think Jordan was here, GBA Radio. And everybody else that's in the back. Let's go catch on the playback. Shouts out to y'all. I think this was just for me. I know I wanted to get everybody to know who Earl Nightingale was and you know, like Alan Washington, just in case nobody didn't listen, but I think there's just some therapy for me. Like on some real shit. Cause I just got done doing the Detroit After Dark before this, you know, so I'll catch y'all in a minute. Shouts out to everybody. Damn. There's something else. Is there anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, shouts out to Vonta over there in the UK. You know, I hope you ain't working too hard. You know what I'm saying? Stay safe over there. And Chris, you stay safe over there in Cali, and everybody else, y'all stay safe. Keep your head up, keep that bread up, keep your awareness up. Protect yourselves, protect your family if you got family around you. Keep your head on the swivel. Stay 10 toes down in your truth. And shit, that's it. I'll catch y'all in a minute. Peace. What's that? Oh no. It's like that. I'm clicking this bitch, but this bitch ain't motherfucking going to the motherfucking button. I'm tapping the X button like a motherfucker. I could probably hear me tapping it. All right, well, fuck it. Okay. I guess it's a fucking delay. I guess it's a fucking delay on it. All right. Okay, that just popped up. Okay, cool.